child. Yeah, you're the stepfather of that child, but you're married to this woman. I don't
Mhm.
think the dude should get any type of, you know what I mean? Like unless that shit was worked out before, I don't know. I just don't find that pleasing. I think women should choose better, right? Because there are men like you didn't have to. He didn't have to be a stepfather. He could have been the father of your child. It's just that
Mhm.
someone didn't choose wisely, and then now, it could because it is a catch-22. You want me to pay for that nigga farts?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It is a catch-22. So I don't know, Hank. I think you really explained it. You know what I mean? Because I have a son, and I think the way you explained it to your son is exact. I'm glad you said that because I'm like, you know what? I'm glad he did that because now I can take notes so I can tell my son, hey, because I had a very dark direction I was gonna tell my son. Bro, don't do that shit. Like don't do that shit. Don't bring that shit in the family. I don't want my bloodline mixed with another nigga's bloodline. You get what I mean? Like this shit is
That's
real.
this that'd be disrespectful. But I know, matter of fact, not bad. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
It would be disrespectful as fuck. You know what I mean? Don't get me but I get what you were saying. I see it that way now. You know what I mean? You know what? We do need the big OGs to come to show us better ways to how to maneuver a conversation or how to deal with our masculinity, right?
Mhm.
Because sometimes our masculinity could be just too much for the situation. And sometimes we need to be able to compartmentalize that and use that in a way that it benefits the culture instead of making the culture feel weird or bad. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just my take.
Well, let me say this before I think Stan wanted. I think Stan, you wanted to go next, but But Stan, before you
Let
go,
world class go first.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
After
gonna
you get
let my
done.
man World Class go
Hey,
first.
salute world class.
What's up, Sam?
But let me say this real fast though. Um, it's funny because, like I said earlier, if my son was to come to me and say, "Dad, I'm interested in this woman. She's a good woman. But the only thing, she's everything you always talked about. But the only thing, she has a child." I will have to take a deep breath. I say, God bless. Okay, bro. And again, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna explain what you're about to do, what you're about to get yourself into. It's a thoughtless job. Look, being a father is a thoughtless job. So let's get that straight. It's
Peace,
not like
peace.
the dads, the biological daddies, are getting all the praise and the uplift and the props that we should. We know that's not happening. That's not happening at all. But with that being said, it's still, you have to do what you have to do as a man, right? So if I'm going to take on that situation with my son, say, son, look, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be some hard days. It's gonna be some dark days. But it's gonna be some great days. Are you willing to do those things? Are you willing to open up your heart to a child that is not yours? Are you willing to do that? Are you gonna be willing to take the funny looks, the stares, the uneasy feelings at time when he may or she that child may say, "You're not my daddy"? That statement
Mm.
could come your way.
And hurt.
How are you gonna handle it? How are you gonna respond? How are you gonna take it?
Could
It's coming,
Look,
huh?
hey, I'm gonna say it again. Not every situation like it. We can't sit there and say, we can't do. I'm not gonna do that because look, again, I had an incident. My great grandfather was a stepfather, and without that man, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be I am today. He was a stepfather.
Same
I
here.
wouldn't be the man he was today. There's no way. He helped me tremendously, taught me a whole
I want
lot.
to add
He didn't have to.
briefly. I'm gonna say
He did.
briefly. I'm gonna say this, Hank. I agree with you because my grandfather, who I call Dad to the day, from the time I was born to the day he died, was not my real grandfather. Was not my birth grandfather. He was a stepfather to my mother. So I agree with you on that. But go ahead though. But I still
Now
got
I'm gonna turn over, let my man World Class get in there and cook a little bit.
Oh, I definitely appreciate you guys. Shout out to the panel, the channel, everybody on everybody in the replay. And then we had kind of got, I don't know if this was like off of the conversation we had on JP's a couple of days ago. Or you have the plan
No,
already.
this
Yeah.
was, let me go and break it down. A lot of people of when I posted, I was going to do it just about the comfortability, when it was going to be the right time
Mm.
to have the
You've been
conversation.
thinking about that for months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have. I mean,
That's
this
what's
is
up.
look. It's been said. I've been hearing it over and over again. I mean, I'm gonna take it further back. It was 6 months ago. I don't know if y'all remember that Lapeef and Sunday show where that lady came up said she called every stepfather simps.
Oh wow.
Mm.
So that's when
I
I
remember
first started to get that idea. But I said I don't want to do it just yet because this is a deep
That's not
conversation, and I
Hink.
need
Is it true or not,
it
Hink?
need to be had, huh?
Is it true? No.
I don't
no,
agree with that.
no, I don't agree with it either.
I don't. But some people feel that way. And look, who am I to tell somebody how they feel? I don't feel that way because I've seen so many lives have been changed because of a stepfather.
Let me
So
know when I
like
can get in, Hink. Let me know when I can get in, Hink.
where a child was adopted and these are not his biological parents. I've seen that way too many times. I got family members like that and benefited from those situations. So I can't completely say it. Are some of them being taken advantage of? Yes, they are. I've seen that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I see more good than bad. So that's what kind of puts me in the mindset where I way out I'm at. But go ahead, world class.
Did John want to go? Was he waiting or something?
No, it's all you.
No, no.
No, it's all you.
I was
I got you.
I was trying to get in line. I'm not trying to jump in, but I was trying to get in line.
Okay. So let's and we can. I guess we can step a few steps back, right? So I guess when Kevin Samuels did his thing, it gave us the opportunity to take inventory. And like I said in the chat a little earlier, I think we gotten away from what the point was. The point that I've seen, because I was kind of in this, on YouTube, catching the Kevin Samuels rise. I did a few videos. I caught that and I was like, I ain't about to be no Kevin Samuels reaction channel. The thing was the entitlement that these females have that a man should want to take care of somebody else's child. That we a package deal, situation that was thrown around. And I think since then it's kind of gotten ridiculously out of control to where I ain't even hear what you just said. For a female to get up and call every step dude, every stepdad a simp is crazy, because a simp is a guy that leads with his wallet. That's usually a guy that's dating, or just a dummy, which I can see how a stepfather could fit in that situation. I'm not even gonna say I'm neutral. I just side with the truth with it. Like since I was 15, I've been a goddad, so I've never been the type of person that don't like to mentor children or help children out. But I have to be honest with the fact that for guys, generally speaking, it's not a good deal. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was making the case the other day, backing up what JP said. Like legally, you don't have no rights as a stepdad, because I know there's situations where, I think that was OG that was explaining things. It's situations where the stepdad can come in, but he's in a bad situation, and to also be disrespected. So just generally speaking, it's not a good situation. But I think, like you were just saying, like you gentlemen was just saying, we've had older men that were with our moms that helped us out, and that we probably, like you said, Hank, couldn't have been the man we were without him. And I don't think that should be dismissed in this conversation. I think it's extremely disrespectful to dismiss stuff like that. But at the same time, from their end, I think it's disrespectful to not acknowledge how they're being disrespected by these females in these streets as they're dating and stuff, to be burdened with another man's child just because another chick got it. You know what I'm saying? I think I wanted to kind of bring that part back, because I think that is where we've deviated from the credence that they do have with respect to this conversation, like having some credit. Now, to be calling every dude that's a stepfather a simp when there's some stepfathers because the dad died, wrongfully incarcerated, um, they just broke up, and the dad's still in his life, and you know what I'm saying. It's like there's so many situations where that don't apply. But I do acknowledge that it's just generally speaking, not only the females, the laws itself makes it a bad deal for dads. I mean, for just average men. I think when you look at the fact that our children need mentorship, we need a guy to be protecting these child, need a man in the house to protect these children. I think we need to have a more mature conversation, like you're doing right now, about this topic, So all these different perspectives can be heard. That's just my outlook.
Go ahead, John. Oh, was you done work class? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
Can I go after John then?
Yeah, you got it.
So
Go
I
ahead,
kind
John.
of want to piggyback off of what Biz was saying earlier about being hurtful with your words, and listen to the old heads. And I think when it comes to this situation, I don't think we as men should worry about hurting people's feelings. We should worry more about telling the truth. If you tell the truth in a situation, and if you tell the truth in a building way, they'll get over the hurt eventually. And so, and I say that to say this: no, all stepdads are not simps. Only time a stepdad would be called a simp to me, in my opinion, is if you go into a situation where the woman says that is a package deal, and whatever I say go. No, if a man takes on another man's child, you need, and I don't mean this sarcastic. I mean this directly. You should call that man God. You should call that man. You should call that man. I'm not gonna say God, but you should call that man Lord.
No, you right. You right.
No, not God, not God. I misquoted that scripture. It's Lord.
But but I get what you mean though. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
Because in that situation, he is actually showing you grace.
Yeah.
And he's showing you grace and mercy. Because other than your husband dying, there's no reason why you deserve another man to come and take care of your kids. So you should be grateful that a man is choosing to be your husband and to be a father to your kids. And you should lift that man up. If he's a good man, you should lift that man up every second of the day. If a man is not coming in that situation, he's a simp. Second point, I did not be quiet. If I think I just lost my train of thought. Y'all go ahead. I lost my train of thought on this one.
Go ahead, Stan.
Hey, yeah. So, to piggyback off on what World Class was saying, right? Because a lot of people say, "What is the benefit of being a stepfather?" Right? So, so I don't know how many people actually coach, right? Little league and coach their children and coach other children, single parents and all that. You date single parents' children, right? So I don't know how we get this thing back right because most of us ain't coached anything since our children got older, right? Um, However, what I would say is that I agree. You shouldn't be calling somebody a simp that's stepping up doing something that you wouldn't do. I don't give a damn whether you incarcerated or I guess, excuse me, wrongfully incarcerated. I'm telling you, someone has to be a mentor to these children. Now, we're not talking somebody that came with the children, don't spend his resources, he gonna feed only his children. Man, what is the solution? And hopefully we can get closer to the solution tonight. What is the solution gonna be is that how can we bridge this gap? Yeah, the woman got the child, so the child suffered because the woman chose to have sex with a dumb motherfucker. And I'm telling you, excuse me, my language, because this is starting to tick me off because it takes me back to the other channel. Is that if you screwed up, you're not a man. We keep wanting to say women don't treat us like we're men. You're not there. And I just want to share just one little quick example with me. Years ago, I joined the military years and years later, and then I met this lady. She was pregnant, so quite naturally, it wasn't my child. I get with her, and men are having a good time and all that. And then the guy that didn't even give a damn about her, he takes it. The guy that beat her up, pushed her down the stairs, and tried to delete the baby. And then when he found out that she was happy and she was in a relationship, he shows up after the club at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I come downstairs in my boxes. He beating on the door to my he wanted to see his damn 1 month old child. I was like, what the hell? I say, hey, bro, you can come back, man, when you sober the fuck up. And I knew he was gonna try to sucker punch me. So I turned and I hit him and I fucking knocked him down on the damn mat. She grabbed the phone and called his people, and they came over, Carlos Deep and all that. And they didn't want no smoke. They grabbed him up and they took him to the hospital. I'm telling you, I'm tired of these sorry guys. You don't care nothing about the woman. You don't care anything about the child. But then you want to show up when somebody else is in her life. So we got to fix this, man. We got to fix this quick. And somebody that want to take up the reins because you're not the person to do it, or at least at that time you're not that person to do it. Stop confusing the children. Adults gonna be
Yes.
adults. Stop confusing the children. If somebody's out there playing catch with them and they're playing video games with them, take them to go get ice cream, take them to the park. What are you mad about? What are you mad about? Because you won't even do anything. So I'm telling you, the most important times that I had in my life outside of my children is being able to mentor children. I dedicated 35 years of my life in the military in dealing with children, young men and women that their parents threw them away, and seeing them thrive and grow. So I don't care about somebody anecdotal BS. That's fine. However, there's nothing better than that, seeing young people thrive. So if you're not going to be that man, don't try to be the man when she's happy and mess that up and then leave again. We got to make a decision. We need to choose a struggle. I'm done on
I
that.
got my
It
second
just
point.
it just
I
it
got
just
my
weak.
second point.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Josh.
My second point was this, and thanks for reminding me who just spoke. I can't remember your name just now. But if
Stan,
Man,
Stan, thank you, Stan. If I look at the world, I look at the kids. It should be a patriarchal society. So therefore, if a woman and a man separate, it would behoove that woman to give that child to that man
That's
because
the solution. Yep.
it's
Go ahead,
because
Michael.
it's actually his. It's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I justify this is I look at how the nature of life work, the laws of life. If I take a seed and put a seed into the ground, whatever seed, the apple seed I put into the ground, the seed don't belong to the ground. It belongs to the sower.
Yeah.
Everything belongs to the seed, and the man gives the seed. We plant the seed into the soil. The woman gives us our seed as a child form back to us. And so the
Mm-hmm.
way I look at this is when you separate from that man, if you leave what you came with, nothing. That child is not your child, that's my child.
can I
But
go
what we have
after John the Baptist?
and what
That's
and
cool.
what we have done is we took it from patriarchal society and made it matriarchal. And then we wonder why the world these relationships are so confusing because it's you we as men are making it confusing by letting women think that child belongs to them. It
Yeah.
belongs to you. And her safety, she needs to realize her safety is in you, not anywhere else but in you, the man. And so
Mm-hmm.
what happens is she thinks her safety is somewhere else, and she's going to rebel and become chaotic in her nature, and she's going to try to find safety somewhere else and take a child into a chaotic world that's unsafe for her and your child, and then expect somebody else to come fix this chaotic situation. The best thing you can do is stop creating, and I know it's already happened, so we can't say undo has already been done. But we have to stop creating these environments and making people feel comfortable in making these environments. Which is why I said when I think when Bia said it earlier, don't worry about hurting people's feelings. You can get over feelings. Speak the truth in love. When you speak the truth in love, it will. It may hurt in the moment, but then you'll get healing later. And I'll land the plane now.
Hey, Hink, just give me 30 seconds real quick. If I was a crackhead and I was homeless, I wouldn't expect the mother of my children to give me anything. We've heard people that took their children through homelessness and all this other stuff. I'm saying it got to be a balance. And John the Baptist, I know that's not what you're saying. It's just we got to measure it out, right? You work and you can provide for your children, and that's different. But I don't just believe it's an easy button and say, hey, just give the child to the father or just give it to the mother. We need to really balance the damn sheets and say which one really this time better for the child, right? Not better for the system, not better for they can get Section 8 and all that. What is better for the child? But I be damned. I be damned if I would allow somebody to give my damn children to someone that is not worthy of being able to take care of my children just by default. We listen to people, man.
Well,
I don't even know how people even got their damn children, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, we got to have a better vetting system before meeting, but we know people gonna still have sex. But when we're gonna make the decision who's the better parent, we need to level that playing field because
Stan,
go ahead. Y'all got
a
the
few
mic.
things.
Hey, salute Ricky.
Hold on, Stan. Hold on. What's happening, Rick?
What's up?
Okay, I got you.
What's good?
What's up, Rick? I
What's up,
wanted to say this real quick. Stan, one, I don't know if you moving in and out of the mic, but you going in and out when you speaking.
Yeah, I am moving around, brother.
Okay.
I
All right.
apologize for that,
I'll
brother.
just let you know that because you making great points, and I want to make sure everybody hear you. Here's the thing with because I totally agree with what John the Baptist says. I think that is the solution, and I think when we bring that up as a solution, we're not dismissing the fact that it should still be looked at on a case by case basis. Like you said, if it's a dude that's a crackhead, homeless, obviously we're not giving the baby to him. You know what I'm saying? That's not a situation we want to put ourselves in. But I think statistically, I know statistically that the second most dangerous place for children is with the biological mother and the new boyfriend, or it's more so boyfriend and stepdad. It's more so boyfriend and stepdad, to be honest. Obviously, the most hostile place is the womb in this country. So that is proven to not be a productive situation, very homicidal situation for children. So I think we solved that problem by, like me, I'm the biggest mouth about it. I think we need to be put to the test that we can raise children and kill these, what do you want to call it, tropes that we have on us as men, as fathers in this country. So going about it obviously would be to just, like I said, case by case situation, and whatever we would have to do as organized to get custody of these children. Because fathers that fight around the country, even white men, get custody at a rate of 17.5%. You know what I'm saying? So what we will be dealing with, while this is a great topic, is we're going to keep seeing this stepdad situation. And I think when these guys that are going to be stepdads get in this position and they're also not getting respected by their peers, that's us calling them simps, I think that makes their job impossible. When their job is, like, as I think it's a consensus up here, that it's extremely important. You know what I'm saying? So, because the men that are going to go to jail, the men that are not going to be there, somebody got to raise these boys. You can't just leave it on the football coach or to the teacher, because somebody got to be in there with them. While
I
they sleep.
agree.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's an important position. It's good. It's not going to disappear. Shaming it in a way is not going to work. So we got to find a way to get better at it. What's up, podcast? What's up, Rick?
One quick note, and I'm gonna get out the way because I know everybody trying to get into. When I made that statement, I'm not talking about I'm talking about in a situation where the father is a good man,
Right.
and I don't want us to always assume that every man is the worst man and he got to be judged on the case. No, I'm talking about upstanding men, which most men are, and the data and the statistics support that the best situation is 2-parent home, the original 2 parents. Second situation is a single father. The worst scenario is a single mother, and the data supports this out. And I fall out the way.
Yeah, that's why I agree with you, John the Baptist. That's why I said that's not what you were saying. Just arbitrarily just do that. That's why I agree with you, brother.
Go ahead, Rick. I mean, what do you got on the subject, brother? And welcome to the show, you and Little Podcast.
What's good, everybody? Peace to y'all.
What do you want? Little Podcast, you want to call it Little Podcast, or you want me to see live from Section 8? Which one you want?
What's up, podcast? And Ricky, salute.
Make sure your mic's selected right.
Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, I think we talking
clear.
about podcast.
I was listening. I was listening back when y'all was talking about people, disparaging stepfathers. I mean, the nerve of some people, right? I mean, if you was drowning, would you criticize the person that's trying to save you?
Absolutely not.
You good, Pop?
Of course not.
Right?
Of course not.
Would you?
Nah.
Would you? You know what? You wasn't swimming right. You wasn't the person I wanted you to save me. Because so let's just get down to the bottom of it, right? Once a family breaks, right, whether the man or woman leaves, with that child, there's already damage that cannot be repaired or fixed. It's damage that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That child already has his heart broken, whether by the stories or the narratives that was told by the mother, the father, both, whatever, right? So why would you, as a woman or a man, want to come in and make more damage? That man is there, if he's coming into that spot, is to minimize the damage, right? To hopefully stop that damage where it's at in its tracks and help this child build into a better person. Right? What is this, right? So we can look at it. I look at this from when it gets to the negative aspect of it. I look at this from two faces, right? Two sides of the coin. We get this story that a woman is not just her womb, right? There's so much more to a woman. But if y'all is saying, right, especially ladies who got this trope, right? If y'all saying that a woman with children is not worth dating or marry or taking care of, then what are y'all really worth? Right?
On what side?
On the women's side, like when Hink said, the lady said that stepfathers are simps. Right. So if once a child is born and born to you from another man, you're not worth nothing to nobody. That's basically what she was saying.
Great question.
Right. Now, on the other part, as a father, right, as the man, like Hink said at the beginning, most dudes had somebody, if it wasn't their father. And this is what's crazy to me, is that these dudes in these red pill spaces, especially the black dudes, try to have this argument, don't date a stepmom, but we know statistically correct that most black families either don't have a two-parent household, correct?
Yeah.
Is that fair for me to say, or am I jumping out the window?
That's fair.
Right? So y'all is disparaging the very person who came out to take care of you. The man who took on a responsibility that your own father refused to do for whatever reason. And at World Class, I hear you. We have those situations where it's dudes that got locked up that they weren't supposed to, right? Dudes that were, unalive, unfortunately not on their own terms. But I'm talking about the dudes who just walked away.
Exactly. I think that's what we was talking about too. The guys that's like walking away, that all of a sudden you want to come back around now, but now she's my wife now. She's not yours anymore. She's my wife. She's not for the streets. She asked my last name. And in that sense, the child is what she has, I have. So the child's living with us. We're feeding the child. We're taking care of the child. So why would you need to have any say so? Because if I want to just go off for a vacation, we got to get your okay. And if you feel a certain way, you could be like, nah, we got to deal with that in court and all of this.
We talked about this on LaPeak. That's a negative to me, bro. Like
it is.
You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want for your children, come get your children. Come get them. Right, by all means. Who am I to keep a father from his children if he's looking to do the right thing? Right? But over here, what I say goes. I'm not worried about what another man said about his kids. Hey, come argue with me about it or kill me about it. Take your choice.
Hey, Ricky, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, I'm not trying to disparage your words. I want to make
No,
sure
it's
I'm
okay.
following. So my question is, what if the father wants the kid, but the mother won't give him up,
That,
so now you in the picture,
that
and
wouldn't
she
happen.
still fight? That
That
wouldn't
wouldn't
happen.
that
Okay.
wouldn't happen with me because, like Hink said, and this is the whole problem, especially that again, I ain't gonna say the problem with my observation from the video that Hink shown, right? My argument is not with your child. My argument is with the mother, right? So let's
Yeah.
say
Bingo.
let's say we had that example in Full Light, John the Baptist, right? Where it was a father, he's handling his business. Me as a man, me as being a real man, at least in my opinion, I am, right? That do the right thing and try to move correctly and move in honor. I see this man doing what he's supposed to do, and he comes and say to my girl, I want my child. Get that man his son.
I think that's appropriate.
So you answered my question directly, and I
I'm
appreciate you
with that.
doing that. So, but my question is, so now you don't think it's odd that he had to wait on you for her to see that, because she should have done that she should have done that in the beginning, right?
If that was the case, first off, yes. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
So if that was the case, first off, and that was that man was doing, but I can't judge on something I didn't see if I wasn't there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So I believe me personally, the only regret I have with my children is I didn't raise them. I raised my middle son. I took my middle son from my baby's mother. She raised my oldest son, and I got a younger daughter. My only regret in life is that I didn't raise all my kids. That's it.
Makes sense.
Right? Because
Okay.
it's not nobody else's responsibility. And the man who did, the man that raised my daughter, the man that I shout that man out every chance I get. When I first met him, I gave the man a hug and talked to him like a man. I appreciate what you did for me, bro.
That's what's up.
You ain't have to do that,
Respect.
That's what's up.
right? But like I said, most people look at it as getting over instead of being a man about their stuff and actually appreciating the job that another man is doing with your child.
Can't argue with that. That's facts.
People don't move with honor. That's the whole problem. Honor is out the door. Honor is as long as your desires is being met and you feeling good about something. That's all that matters. How's y'all talking about? How
Hmm.
can you talk about the
So,
person who saved you?
Say it again. Say it again, brother.
Mhm.
How can you do that? What type of person are you?
Yeah, you know what, Ricky? Like I was saying, because like you speaking to the audacity of it, and that's what I was saying. I think the only thing that I see on that side where those dudes say that is the entitlement that you see out here in these streets with these females. Now, an argument could be made: these not the chicks you need to be linking up with anyway. Most of them that's gonna act like they're just entitled just because they seen it. Um, but I think that's where the credit stops, because it's the points that y'all making is just devastating. It's like, why, like literally what you're saying is it's not even hyperbole. It's real life. Like, why are you criticizing a man that's saving you? Like, I think even John said you should be calling this nigga God. Because I
Lord,
often
Lord,
or
Lord, Lord,
Lord,
not God, Lord.
you know what I'm saying,
either one,
Lord,
either one's good.
because either one, right? Because like
I
I
gotta
always,
clarify. I gotta clarify that, because that
yeah,
you
I'm
can't
like, no,
you can't say God. But go ahead. But
yeah, Lord,
that was
but
a
Hey
misspeak on
guys,
me.
hey, after world class, I'm gonna let my man
right.
podcast go.
So I always say, I always big up my mentor. Now he wasn't with my mom, but it's still the same picture. It's still another man who did my dad's job. You know what I'm saying? He taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to be in these rooms. With he taught me that 8 o'clock means 7:30. When you needed to be about 8 o'clock, that mean if the time is 8 o'clock, that means 7:30. If we're leaving at 10, that means we're gonna stay to 4 p.m. Like the meeting after the meeting, stuff I never knew that was just a normal thing amongst men. We come early, pause, and we stay late. You know what I'm saying? And that's little stuff like that we needed. And I would be a hypocrite, but I think in principle by itself is just, I think any guy, any young man listening to this conversation, you need to like humble yourself from that red dead pill, whatever y'all got going on, and be a little bit more respectful to your brothers and your peers. Because like Hink said, if you find a dope woman, she got a baby or two, you gonna miss out on that because what some other nigga gonna say when he not gonna be knocking her down, he not gonna be taking care of her. Like y'all, yes, these is supposed to be your brothers. They're supposed to be helping you out. Like
You know, it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I know a lot of women got 4 kids and very great women, but I don't think I'm great women though. They're great women. They're good friends. They're, you know what I mean, lovable. I mean, nothing bad to say about them, but I don't think I'll be, you know.
The only problem I have with this statement though is that a man's choice is a man's choice. I'm not gonna never kill a man for his choice. If he's an upstanding, righteous man, I don't care what that man chooses. If he determines in his mind that that woman is not a good woman for him, I'm never gonna kill that man for his choice. If he choose that woman is a good woman for him, then that's his choice. We can't nullify men for their choices though. If it's an upstanding man, righteous man, good for society, let that man have his choice without vilifying him.
Hey, Hink, let me go after podcast, if you don't mind.
Podcast, go ahead, brother.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know where I'm at right now.
You in Chicago?
I thought I was in Manosphere Red Pill land.
Nah, man, we ain't talking nothing red pill in here tonight, brother. I know you was happy. He was surprised we ain't talking red pill.
Okay, go ahead.
I know he was surprised. He said we ain't talking red pill tonight.
Now go ahead, podcast. You good? Go ahead.
Go ahead, podcast. About stepfathers.
All right.
Whether they, we was talking about
Just whatever your thought is. I mean, you know, you see the subject.
It ain't that. It's just that I'm trying to see if Stan know how to stop talking. He keeps saying go ahead, podcast, and then he keep talking.
Man, because I was looking at you. You ain't said a word yet, bro.
Go ahead.
I like to wait for people to stop talking.
Give him that time, Stan. You got a podcast. You good?
You got to stop that battle rapping. We did that the other night. Go ahead, podcast, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Here's the thing. Honestly, like I said, I don't know where I'm at right now. I can't say, Ricky, I've heard you say something different, and Hink, I've heard you say something different. Where I don't know anymore. The way my memory is set up, I'm just trying to remember my kids' names and my mama's birthday. You know, at this point, I just know it sounds very different from what I'm used to hearing in this space. I've never been one of the type to shit on stepdads. I got my stepdad name tattooed on my arm after he passed away. If you ever hear me say my pops, my dad, that's who I'm talking about. You know, I know my real father. He's still alive and everything, but he been on drugs since before I was born. So that's a long time, almost half a century. So, but outside of that, I am right now, I won't lie, Hink. I'm at the point where I do want to, I think I will begin to caution men against marriage. At this point, it's pointless to me.
So you're gonna caution men against marriage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, it's pointless to me. I don't see the benefit. The things that people will say, oh, what about tax breaks? Like, who gives a shit? Right? You either don't make enough money where the tax breaks don't matter, or you make so much money that it don't matter. Right? So, but it's like I don't really see long-lasting marriages anymore.
I'm next.
And the people that I do see it from, they older, right? I don't see the people that's coming up the rear behind us staying married for a long time, if there ever was. I know a lot more women who own houses and pit bulls and never been married, never had no kids. I didn't even pay attention to how many of them I actually knew until Kevin Samuel started saying it. And I was like, damn, that's Tasha. Damn, that's Keisha. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it's pointless. They don't last. Nobody going into the marriages for the right reasons. Nobody knows how to conduct themselves. It's men against women. Everybody devaluing the other person. The women are prostitutes. The men are tricks. You know what I'm saying? And it's a waste of time. But specifically to the stepfather thing, although I don't think you should be trying to get married, whether she got no bodies, no kids, no nothing, or a whole bunch of bodies and a whole bunch of kids. I will say some of you niggas, that's what you qualify for. You qualify for a baby mama. You qualify for the chick that got a few bodies. You qualify for the chick that got a few babies. That's what you qualify for. I know y'all think, men think that your weight ain't supposed to matter, your looks ain't supposed to matter, your swag ain't supposed to matter, your income ain't supposed to matter. If the burglar break in, you gonna go see about it. So therefore, every woman should want to be with you. That's not how that works. Get your ugly, boring ass over there with Bonquisha and her 3 kids. It is what it is, man. We can't tell the women to accept what they qualify for and then try to stand on pretentiously like we all just qualify for the same thing. That's why I'm holding on to my girl for dear life, goddammit. But at the same time, I'm not gonna marry her. It's pointless to do it at this point. So that's my take, real quick, into the conversation evolved.
I got you. Well, let me say this. For those people who was questioning or inquiring about, did a woman call a stepfather simp? Yeah, she did, and here's a link. I'm gonna put it in the chat. There's a link to the on one of the clips they had. So
she called the dude that she was with a simp.
No, she called any man who is a stepfather who decides to be a stepfather.
She said all stepfathers are simps.
Simps. So
yeah.
What's going on, brother Kevin? How you doing tonight?
Okay.
Let me say something real fast.
I got you.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just feel like hanging in the basement, chopping it up with you, man.
Yeah,
man,
welcome, Kev.
All right, what's up, man?
Men of good knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I hope you have a change of heart. But again, at the end of the day, you're gonna feel how you feel. You're gonna think how you want to think. And hey, brother, I'm glad to hear you got somebody who's gonna accept you for you, regardless if you marry her or not, man. Congratulations. So you hold on to that good woman. She's gonna convince you one day. And one day, if I see your ass at a goddamn courthouse, talking about I do, I'm saying, what happened? Did she poison the water? What happened? She put something in the chili?
I mean, if they tell me I only got a year left, I might
you walking down the
That's crazy.
Make sure you got a life insurance policy.
That don't make
You
no
ain't
sense.
good with no beneficiary.
At
that point. Shit.
I got you. But go ahead, brother. I know Stan wanted to say something.
No, that was okay. Go
Say,
ahead.
that was me, dog.
After podcast grilled my ass,
who
let
was that?
John the Baptist go.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in.
I was trying to say. Oh, go ahead.
Chime in on what the brother was saying about some niggas don't qualify. Yeah, a lot of dudes don't qualify for the shit that they see on TV, but they got more than enough women for the average black man, straight black man, to get whatever he wants, in my opinion, whether they have kids or not. You know what I'm saying? If you look at, maybe it's, if you go to any college campus, you got 3 girl dorms to every boy dorm. You know what I'm saying? It's only a small
match every summer.
right. So I think straight men, I think good strong men. I think back in when I was growing up, if you dated a woman with a kid, it was kind of put on a little pedestal thing, and it's the ultimate simp thing. I'm a Gen Xer, so that changed, and it's good that it changed, because at the end of the day, it's really not your child. If you go date a woman that has a child, date her seriously to think about marriage, that's one thing. But as far as just casual dating, once the relationship's over, you lose contact with those children. Life moves
Not
on. So I don't
necessarily.
reckon.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
well, to a degree. Well, depending on the age, because I lost one, when I broke up with mine, and that was what there was like 10. She moved on. We moved on to different relationships.
Understood.
S-
Understood,
Yeah, you
bro.
see what I'm
I
saying?
got
That's
you.
different. Yeah,
I got
it just goes like that sometimes, and it's part of it becomes a bigger part of breaking up in a relationship instead of one on one. The kids get involved,
because they
even
love
though
you.
right, because you already know. So those kind of things got to factor in. But I do like the direction that young men going now. I strongly suggest starting your own family. Start your own family. I see in Tennessee they just passed the mandatory DNA testing with
I
the
say
kids.
who?
Yes,
Right,
Lord.
I
right,
say
that kind of
who?
right. So things like that. But I don't knock a man. Just your average earner who may have dated someone or married someone who may have
Right,
had a
right
child.
now,
Just
Pocket.
you
Right
just got to
now.
have your own standard with it.
Even if he have a bunch of money, if he marries someone, get with someone that has a child, it's not even about that. It don't mistreat the child. That's the bottom line.
True that. True that.
I want to go back. I want to go back to what podcast said earlier. And I don't know if he was trolling or what, but it was some truth to what. Even if he was trolling, there was some truth to what he was saying about not advising people to get married in this day and time. And I'm gonna go and it's kind of hard for me to accept this, but society is proving it right every single day because unless you're getting married for religious purposes, I don't see why marriage is beneficial anymore.
Hey, John, don't do it. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it. Don't say it, John. Man, you the last hope. You don't
I,
say it, John. Don't say it,
no,
brother.
I'm no, the reason why I gotta say it, the reason why I gotta say it because it's the truth will always set us free, right? And the point is, if you're not getting from, and I'm speaking from a religious point of view too, if you're not getting married for religious purposes, all you're doing is married to what the state says. And so what you're going by state regulations on marriage. So that's why I'm saying there's some truth to what podcasts are saying. If you're not getting married outside of for religious purposes only, you're now involving yourself the states into your marriage. So as long as you're getting married by state regulations, why even get married? Just
Why
become
why
like your
y'all
own.
why we keep doing this with this though? Why we keep doing this with this though?
Yeah,
I,
because
I'm gonna
that's
go
what
some.
I'm saying, Ricky.
I'm gonna go somewhere with it though. Let me get someone. Then y'all can attack the point.
Let Ricky go after you, John the Baptist,
Okay,
if
that's
that's
cool.
okay
I,
with
I'm
him.
I gotta get
I'm cool.
after Ricky. I mean after John. I need to get Will in there first.
Oh,
So go
that'll
ahead,
work.
John.
The
So
fact
the
that they
point I'm
make
making is this:
room.
I would never tell a man, like I said earlier, every man has the right to do what he wants to when he want to do it, and so I would never regulate a man's choices. I'm only advising that this is how you have to move on what's best for you as a man. And what I'm starting to notice is that they say that the stats say, the data say that first marriage is in at 50%. Second marriage is somewhere close to, I think, 70. I may have the number a little bit wrong. And third marriage is close to 80 or 90% in divorce. And then what's happening is women are looking at not. I want to just say women because I don't want to take the platform there. People are looking at marriages as opportunity to come up rather than opportunity to build a family and to better society.
Yep, it's a look.
And my perspective is if you're getting married first of all for the husband wife union to produce kids to reproduce and to make society better than when you found it. But in today's time, on land of plane here, I don't think we're getting married to make society better. I
No,
think we're
you
getting
keep
married.
advising us the right way, John the Baptist. Leave the rest of it alone. You was on the right
That's what
point right there, bro.
that's what
Keep
I'm doing,
advising us the right direction.
and that's what I'm trying to say, and that's what I'm saying. If you're going to marry for the right reasons, then yes, I support the marriage. I can't continue to support marriage the way that we're doing it currently in society. I cannot support this, and that's my point. I land the plane there.
Go ahead, Del Will Riff, big brother.
Hey, welcome, Will.
So well,
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good, good. Hey, and if you
John,
can't ask that question you asked in the chat, I was gonna go to that next. But since you heard, you could definitely make sure you ask that question.
yeah, that's I was going to kind of build off of that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the panel, everybody I know on the panel, and The people I don't, nice to meet y'all. To add to John's point, really most people get married today just off of seems like just a look, not really trying to actually build anything. But that's just from my observation. But to the stepfather scenario, right? And speaking as someone that is a married man that does not have any children, I think most of the guys here on the panel have children. What would be, and I got a question more than a statement. What would be your advice to a man that does not have any children, so he doesn't have any fathering experience, to being a stepfather? Now, y'all might have already answered this because I came in kind of late, but if y'all haven't, what would be your advice to that guy? Because I don't have anything against, I'm not a lot of the red pill spaces and man pill spaces. It's like stepfathers are like the dumbest guys in the world, but I don't believe that. But also at the same time, it's like if a guy has never been a father, does not know that world, to have him come into a scenario where he is at
Right.
being a father figure, or if the biological father is not there, he is being the primary father figure. How does he navigate that situation? So I just really got a question.
So I'm glad you asked that because go ahead, Hank. My bad.
No, what I was gonna say, like I share with my son. I mean, if my son was to come to me, he has no kids, and I wouldn't recommend him as a man with no kids to date a woman with kids, because it's gonna be tough, and it depends on where you at mentally and emotionally. You like somebody his age, 18, 19-year-olds. There's no way I could sit there and say, yeah, that go on date women, kids. A man's got a little more seasoned, more like you just say you 30 years old and you ain't got no kids, but she does. Okay, man. I'm gonna say, hey, brother. I mean, are you ready for that responsibility? Are you ready for those type of scenarios that could come your way? Like, you're not my dad. You know, whatever the case may be. Hopefully, they have a good cordial relationship between the mother and the father. But if not, what are you going to do when those situations could arise? How are you going to address that? Are you going to have a conversation with this man? Are you willing to have a conversation with this man who's the father of them kids? Are you willing to do that? Now, if you are willing to do all of those things, and she has set the precedence on the expectations and your status in this household and how whatever he says goes, then we can rock out. If she didn't do that and set precedence, no, I wouldn't do it. Not until she does what she need to do.
Let me go after the person that was trying to talk, and after them.
You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Show me. Hold on, guys. Show me it's you, brother, in the background if you can, real fast.
Yeah, someone was getting ready to speak, Hink, and I'll go after them.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rick. I got you. I got you.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with all the fellas. I mean, the right way to do it is for you to get a girl. Both of y'all ain't got no kids and build together. But how many of y'all doing it right though? Let's keep it.
I'm married, so
right? Right. I'm just saying for example purposes, right? Now, my oldest son, him and his girl, they started from the bottom, right? Neither one of them had kids. They've been married right now for 5 years, right? So, but as far as a stepfather, the all you can do is be a man. Be a man at all times. That means being consistent and keeping it 1,000 with the kids and your girl. Right? Just be honest, man. Be true in what you're doing, man, and everything else will work itself out. Like I said before, when you being correct, bro, it shows you everything you need to see up front. There's no red flags aren't hitting or put in the background. You're gonna be able to see because you're gonna see how people respond to the truth. Right. So just be honest with the kids. If they not living up to par or there was expectations that's been set for them that everybody knows about, you hold them to them expectations. That's what they're gonna do to you. Right? That mortgage got to get paid every month. That rent got to get paid every month. Them car notes got to get paid every month.
I agree.
And it definitely depends on the age range of the child. If you're dating someone with a child, age range should be different. Younger kids usually warm up to the person, but you don't want an unruly teen either. Both male and damn sure not an unruly female that don't like you in the household. That's different.
Right. But the truth is, right? It can be somebody else's child, but that could be your child as well.
True that.
You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, guys, no matter what nobody's saying, they try to put into like. I understand we all have this ego that we all get it right the first time, and if it's your kid, it's gonna be different. Da 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 da. Whoop de whoop. Right? But the truth is, life happens, guys. Right? In the same way, a stepchild, which again, because the connection was broken and they weren't given the instructions correctly, just like the video, right? The same way that can happen with another woman's child, it can happen with your child. It's all a gamble at the end of the day. Hopefully that one, and no, now this is my opinion. Hopefully that woman has enough value that you're willing to take on that responsibility, because that's really what it comes down to. Right? Yeah. But it's like Hink said at the beginning, you and that woman should have an understanding before y'all even get into it if she got kids.
You know, I've dated two types of women that have children. You know, I've dated someone who appreciated and just thought that me being there around her child, or being in their life was extra, and made it known. And then I've dated someone with a child to just be like, well, you're a man, that's just your job, and that's what you're supposed to do when you get a package deal type of mentality. You know, so it goes both ways, and you kind of got to evaluate that. And you should know long before you want to take somebody's hand in marriage if you want to have, you know, deal with their kid. But age in the kid does make a difference. Environment makes a difference. Because once they, you know, over 13 or 14, you're not doing much discipline. That child is who they are already.
Hey, can I ask
when I
Ricky a question?
play high school football, I played nose guard, right? We did a lot of 0-1 technique, and then you know if I was in the one technique, he tell me hit the A gap hard, and if I kept missing, and if I kept hitting head up, they would get on me. He was like they would shame me for not doing it right. They would embarrass me for like not hitting that gap or not attacking that technique the way I should have attacked it. And so the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is that yes, we can keep doing, we can do what we're doing, but then we cannot get the behavior of as men is actually protecting mistakes and trying to cover up mistakes. We need to get to a place in society where we can shame mistakes and tell the truth, like this is the way you should have done it. Now we understand that everybody's not going to do it this way, but we can't make them feel comfortable in not doing it this way.
Well,
At some point,
then you're contradicting yourself.
Exactly. You know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Beans.
That's a
Go ahead, Beans.
in itself. Then, if you're saying that if you understand that everybody can't do everything the same way, then that eliminates the necessity for shaming, logically.
No, okay. If I said that, then I did contradict myself. Because the point I was trying to make is that we understand everyone did not do it the same way. We know that some people did make mistakes. That's the point I was trying to make. And what I'm trying to say is that
I think instead of correcting the language, I think you should just accept the logic of your statement, which is that everybody can't do it the same, bro. Like, I remember shout out to the homie Tommy B. Tommy B told me one day in conversation, he said, man, you know what I had to realize? He's like, I had to realize that these niggas on YouTube ain't me. Right? And what he was referencing was all these guys that he was listening to on YouTube that was complaining about this and complaining about that, all of these different things that they had went through with women. And he like, I ain't go through none of this. I don't know what they talking about, right? But he had to realize the nigga like 6'2". That's a whole different life from somebody that's 5'6". A whole different life. The nigga light skinned with a nose ring. That's a whole different life, right? From a 5'6" dark skinned guy, right? Who just average. It's not the same. You see what I'm saying? So everybody can't make the same choices. And even if they can, right? You can say they can make them, but they can't. It's not logical for their lives, right? But even if they did, there's no guarantee of the same outcome. This is why you have so many women saying, well, listen, y'all say keep your legs closed, but then at the same time, you say, if we don't give you none, you're going to stop dating us, right? Well, that actually works for a very small percentage of women, There's a small percentage of women who keep their legs closed and it leads to rings. And then there's another percentage of women, way bigger, who keep their legs closed and it leads to loneliness because they're not qualified to keep their legs closed. They don't have
what you just said, I get what you're saying. You're talking about choices. Correct. Everybody has choices. Everybody make choices based on the circumstances that they're in, they find themselves in, and they make the choices based on the circumstances they're dealing with. That dude 6'2", some other dude 5'6". So you make choices based on your circumstances. Cool, you can do that. Same way
No,
when
but
I
he said it's a different lifestyle.
in the
But he's
example,
saying
hold
it's
on,
a
I
different.
got you. I know, I got it. I know that's I'm getting to that. And so I'm saying the same way when I played nose guard, I was 5'8" playing nose guard, 5'8", 165. And so I had a choice to attack that A gap the way I wanted, the way they told me to do it, or do it the way I want to do it. And if I didn't do it the way based on the circumstance what I was dealing with, I want to do it my way. But the coaches had consequences for me doing it my way. And all I'm saying is, if you're right by the lifestyle you choose, as long as you understand the consequences that come with your choices, then be cool with that. And you're right, I'll rock out with that.
Well, we know that we have an accountability problem in the community, so we understand that everybody, men and women, but the majority of women have a problem with accountability and accepting that they are who they are. A lot of people live in delusion, but I'm just saying for those of us who are intellectually superior, as far as just processing information in real time, we have to be able to say, yeah, that necessarily probably don't need to shame that. And that's exactly what we're doing right now as it pertains to stepfathers. And we know in this space, stepfathers get a bad rap by not just the women, but men specifically.
Yeah, that's true.
And some of us have processed information to say, this isn't actually a logical argument. And I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say the smarter thing. And shout out to those who've chosen to do that.
Yeah, but let me say something real quick. A good friend of mine I talked to earlier today, and he told me, remember what audience you're in, right? And meaning that so when you're on certain panels, expect the fuckery, right?
Mhm.
But we over here now, and we trying to mine through some things. But I got a question for my man Ricky. So what happens in life, right? And I got a question for you. Is anything 100%?
Death and taxes.
Yes. Thank you. Hey man, that's why I know you're a man of a certain age. So, hey man, heartfelt. You said, man, my biggest regret is not being able to raise my children, right? And I'm telling you, we've coached, we've done all these things. We got to get going back to doing that, mentoring the children. Because as long as we continue to say stepfathers are nothing and all these things, man, you got to have that person in your life. I listen to people that's even on this panel, that's been on other panels. My father wasn't there, and that person wasn't there. But guess what? We came over here, and they say, my grandfather was there. My uncle was there. Can we have that same sentiment? Man, we need mentorship. We are the future right now, but again, we're getting ready to be the past. And that's why I mess with podcasts, because podcast crazy. But he gets it. He's like, man, we got to move the needle. We got to move it because we know we can't be here forever. And Ricky, man, I've been rocking with you for a while, and others. But at the end of the day, man, what is the next message we're going to give to the youth? Somebody was on here and said, if the youth is listening, what are they going to hear us saying in the chat? So, man, what are we going to do? We're going to keep playing this circular game? I'm telling you,
Well, we
I
can
don't
go
give a
back.
damn.
We can go back to
I think we
want to
should stop.
address.
It was
We
you
should stop
talking about that.
normalizing stepfathers, but
Go
There you
ahead,
go,
Biz.
brother. I think it was you. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead and finish.
I think I think stepfatherhood should stop being normalized. I don't think it should be normalized. Now whether that may depict of how we choose to how women choose to pick, find their dudes to have kids, whatever the case may be. But I don't think it should be normalized. It's like it's making it like, oh, it's okay to be a stepfather. It's cool because you love her and the kids have somebody there and blase blase. But then there's still baggage there. Like there's like I don't know. I mean, maybe
It's been
You know what? You know what? Watch this. Watch this.
Respond after Beans.
Watch this, world class. Do you know what's crazy about you saying that though? Not like I'm like it's your opinion. I ain't knocking it, right?
Go ahead, Beans.
Crazy about that. To me, immediately, the way a man will have to reconcile that is by marrying early. Right? So if you look at the statistics,
bingo.
One of the reasons why men, do you know that on average, black men, we marry single mothers on average, right? The average black woman has her first child at 22. The average black woman has her first marriage between 28 and 30, depending on which source you trust, right?
Mm.
An average black man is between 30 and 31 when they have their first marriage. So we marrying single moms out the gate, right? Right, it is what it is. But here's the ironic part. The way to reconcile that would mean you got to get married early.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop people from having sex.
The
right?
very
Facts.
opposite, the
Facts.
very opposite of what modern society teaches people to do.
Right,
Wait till you're 30, get
That's a
some
fact.
experience under
Go
your
ahead.
belt.
Go ahead,
Blah, blah,
Ricky.
blah. Right?
Go ahead,
So
Ricky.
again, like I told y'all, the game don't change, only the players, right? And the players don't know what they're doing in the game. Right? It's
Which
just
is
that
why,
simple.
like everybody got to do what I did. That's why I married 21 and got me a 19-year-old. Because you're right, that's your best chance. I didn't plan it that way, but that's your best chance of creating a two-parent home. Not and it's no guarantee. And as the young man said, is there 100%? Is anything 100%? Even what I did was 100%, but it increases your odd though.
like
But
I got a homie. Like, go ahead.
Exactly, John
no,
the
go ahead, Biz.
Baptist.
You go, Biz. You go, Biz.
You
I
mute Hank.
like
Hank, you muted up.
I got homies like in the in the entertainment industry. You have a lot of friends and shit,
Thank you,
and
world
there's
class.
some dudes just hunt females with kids. Like they just hunt them.
That's a
Like,
fact. Yes.
that's like really they look at them as
Right.
they're more willing and more receptive and more
Yes.
vulnerable. And and I'm like, bro, that's kind of like weak, right? Like, but maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm wrong for looking at it that way. But I'm like, my nigga, that's kind of like
But what do you mean by hunt?
little.
When you say hunt, do you mean hunt for sex or hunt for relationships and marriage?
They love the interaction, all the above. It's like they love the interaction because I kind of see it as a woman who's single has more to work with, right? Because she's single, she don't have any kids, so there's gonna be a lot more to you that you have to prove, right? Then a woman with kids, her walls are kind of going to be down because she's a little more lonelier. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of void there. And so the dude take that as an advantage. I'm not saying the guy's the intention, right? Because there's guys that really love the woman. So I'm not looking at the exceptions.
Right.
I'm looking at, you know what I mean? Now I'm married, right? I'm married. I've been married like, for about 8 years now. But I got there's a lot of motherfuckers that do that. I'm just saying.
Hey, Beans, let me go. Let me go, Beans, and you can get the mic.
I'm not trying to knock on anybody, right? I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but there's a lot of them. And they'll just like, yeah. I'm like, she got kids? Like, that's the first question. Like, she got kids?
Let me tell you this.
She got 2.
Real quick, was world class? Were you about to address my question?
Yeah. So
yeah,
I know we kind of gotta. We kind of got away from your question because your question is extremely important. Because this is when I was on JP's, that was my example. I don't know if you were in your scenario or your situation, your wife has children, but that was kind of my point, and I think it's important I think a guy that is a stepfather with no children is in the same position as like I was the oldest, so I'm responsible for my mom's children, but I don't have these rights, and then I don't have the skills because I'm still a kid. And I think your question is so extremely important because it does immediately initiate what we were talking about: mentoring the guys, being there for your peers, right? having guys understand what's to come. So I give guys the same stuff that I tell the women. You have to know, raise a child based off how the brain works. When you start looking at how the brain is developing, in those first years, like if you're about to become a new dad, what to expect. Like one of the OGs told me when I was in the barbershop, he was like, my OG told him I was about to have a son. He stopped and put his keys down and he looked me in my face. And he was like, this is what he said to me. He said, and I'm like, bro, I don't need you. I'm like 30 at this point. But he was like, bro, he said, listen, he said, when they're crying for a reason. Just find the reason. I'm like, he made he did it as if you'd have thought somebody told him I was about to die or something. Like he was trying to get me to see that. But when I became a dad and I woke up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, every morning for a month, I was like, I get what you're saying. Because when those little things like that help you get through those processes, when you understand that their brain is developing, they're in a lot of pain, they're stressed out, they have certain cries for certain things. And I'm saying it like that because we have to prepare young men for fatherhood. It's no matter how well you were prepared. Like I said before, I've been a goddad since 15 years old. I had my god sister, I had my goddaughter, I had my nieces, I had my little brother. I had these babies in my life, so I was prepared. I was told my whole life, you're gonna be a great dad. When my son came, bro, it was a whole different ballgame. And it's like a different smack in your. It's a whole different deal.
Can you explain what Godfather and Godmother means?
If something, I was a real goddad. So when something happens to the parent, you the guy that's supposed to step up. Like you the mom that's supposed to step up. So my goddaughter,
all the paperwork. You don't own the pop. Yeah, all the paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can do it religiously. But hold on, real quick. Her dad got deported, so I literally had her. So those are little things that guys need to know when you like us as fathers have to teach these stepfathers and these young fathers that are coming. They don't know what they're stepping into. Not only that, I was a NICU dad, so my son was in the hospital for his 90 days of his life because his stomach and his esophagus was detached. So that shit hit me in my mouth like, bro, that's crazy. So I even when he came home, I would look at people with their baby. I was like, damn, that baby not in the NICU. They're not in the hospital. It was just weird to see people with their teeny little baby because I was in the hospital that long time, and the baby died while we was in there. He wasn't in there for super serious stuff, but that stuff, like, you need to be prepared for that. It's a tough job. So I'm landing it here. What you're doing, Hink, is extremely important because it's too much disrespect to stepdads, into fatherhood, in these spaces, because it's a tough ass job being a dad, bro. It's being a parent, period. And guys need to know what's coming. And
can I go after world class?
You muted Hink. Go ahead. I'm done.
Can I go after world class?
And my man Taz in after world class.
What's up, Taz?
Let Taz go. I didn't know Taz. Hey, salute Taz.
What's up with y'all? Good with it, fam. So yeah, I'm just
loving it.
I don't know where y'all at.
Taz or Tan?
Huh?
Now let Tan go first, Taz, and then you go next.
My fault. Tan was first, but I'm about to drop down, fellas. Appreciate y'all answering my question. I'll see y'all around.
All right,
man. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Be easy, man.
I was going to tell world class, man, it's kind of hard to prepare for fatherhood when you got people on this panel saying marriage is dead. Like how you gonna preach fatherhood or being a leader and you don't believe in marriage or you think it's dead? Just say you're scared. Like, just say you don't know how to pick that right woman, that woman that's from the Proverbs. Because if we're supposed to build a community or have something, we need to have a union.
I think that is, and look, I'm trying my best, right? Because it was said to me yesterday that I need to learn how to filter what I'm saying more often, right? So I'm gonna just say that's one of the silliest things I've ever heard in my life.
You say your opinion, bro.
Right? And the reason why is because those two entities do not depend on each other to exist. You don't have to be married to be a father, and you don't have to be a father to be married.
Well, you see
So
the mess that's happening because of
I
that.
understand what I think I may.
Hey, you can't.
understand.
Hey, no, I'm not gonna let you. You can't wash your hands with and have shit on them at the same time, bro. You can't do that.
Exactly. Come on, Ricky.
You
Wait, we
can't do
talking
that,
about
right?
me?
Yeah, that your example, right?
What's
Again,
my example?
your example is saying that it is true. It is true you can be a father and not a husband, but what's the optimal position? What's the optimal?
But
No,
that's not the
no,
point,
no,
though.
no,
That's not what he
no,
said. He
no.
didn't say nothing about optimal. So let's not
That was
help him
from
out.
your comment earlier.
My comment
Hey,
earlier
Hink.
don't matter, Stan. Stop. Just stop.
Okay,
No,
I
but
stop.
what he did say, he did say as a union. So it's kind of the same, brother.
No, what he said
So would you
was,
like to have your kid? So would you like to have your kid in a
how are you going
two-parent
to
house? I
teach
mean, in a separate household?
fatherhood when you're against marriage? Those were the words that he said. So if y'all want to add context to it to make it what you want to make it, by all means do that. But I'm not going to pretend like that's not what you're doing either.
I'm actually going to address. I'm actually going to address what he said because what he's.
Let him reset the question.
Those words together are absolutely inaccurate, right? And it's one of the silliest things I've ever heard in my life. It just is. It's the truth. Don't have anything to do with it. Because John and people like John will argue that marriage is a religious institution. And fatherhood has been around longer than religion.
Not everybody it is though.
Hey, Hink, jump
this
in.
the problem, man.
Okay, but I'm saying so are you saying that the institution of marriage preceded religion? Yes or no?
Let Hink
Yes.
respond.
You say yes, Ricky?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I said no. But so you know how I am with words, right?
No, but don't do that, world class.
You know,
said no.
I have to,
please say why you say no.
Yeah, I'm telling you around because marriage and becoming a dad is the same thing. You know what the word marry means to give offspring in marriage. That's literally what it means. Absolutely in real life. They are literally the
Say
same
it again.
thing.
Say it again, bro.
And the point of getting marriage is to get married is to build a family and generate offspring. Now I agree with you. Hey, I got to give you credit where credit is due. Podcast, right? It's true, right? You can be a father. You can be a father, but are you the best father you can be? Is it the very best situation? Are you setting up your kid for the best possible outcome?
That's the point I was trying to make.
Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna try one last time and then I'm going to give up, right? As it pertains to optimal household situations for children, what's the number one optimal household for a child?
A two-parent household.
What's number two?
A father and a child with a father.
Okay. So again, now that's gonna be my last time to try to get y'all to just accept this. Being a father does not require marriage. So his statement, which was, how can you teach fatherhood if you're against marriage, is silly at best. It just
Okay.
is.
I would agree.
Okay, hold on. Nigga, you look silly as fuck trying to have a kid with a woman that you don't want to marry. Like, I know marriage what it means, but when you look in the whole phrase of I want to marry this chick is I want this chick forever because she makes me feel this way. She's my helpmate. So yeah, you're right. You can be a father without marrying a chick, but why would you want to put your seed in a woman that you don't want to spend the rest of your life with?
No, you didn't say any of that. Am I triggered right
It was
now?
a two-part question. It was a two-part question.
You cut him off.
Now, that's what he's saying now.
Semantics, Stone. Semantics.
Like, but don't try to make it seem like that's what you said,
because you cut me off. Bro. It was a two-point. It's a two-part question.
But the reason why he cut you off, he wasn't disrespecting when he cut you off. He actually.
I know he didn't. I know he wasn't disrespecting me. It was a two-part question.
But your first part of your statement was you made two statements that was in. He attacked one of them. I was going to attack the other one. And I knew what you were saying. Your thought was genuine and your intention was genuine, but you made a statement that was that turned out to be proven wrong because you can be a father and not be married.
You should
And so
ask them everything at one time.
And podcast trying to get you to do is he's trying to get you to formulate your ideas better. That way, when you want to make statements, that won't be attacked. But I'm going to attack something else you said in your first statement, and that is you made a statement. You also said if you want to pick a good, don't get scared because you can't pick a good woman and use Proverbs 31. If you understand Proverbs 31, you understand there are really not that many good women to choose from because Proverbs 31 says. So now let me I'm gonna tell you why. Because Proverbs 31 says.
Laughing.
Because Proverbs 31 says her price is far above rubies. What makes the price of rubies? What makes the price of rubies high?
Rubies.
Correct. What more precious than ruby? What makes the precious? What makes ruby so precious?
Their accessibility.
It ain't that many of them.
The scarcity.
It ain't that many of them.
So does that mean tell men to not play the game and try to find her?
No, that's not that. No, we know what I'm saying is you can't say that men are afraid to get married. We just recognizing that what the Proverbs 31 says, they are more precious than rubies, which means they are more scarce. So we're not really afraid. We're just looking for the rubies.
Good point. I like that, John.
So Tan, go ahead, man. If you're finished with your question, I'm gonna let Taz go. But if not,
it's just funny, man. I don't want to hear motherfuckers say, oh, because she's not with the baby dad, that don't mean she's not a good woman. If she's a single mom, I want y'all to keep that same energy of her being a single mom, not with the dad, and divorcing the dad, saying, okay, she still could be a single mom and still be a good mom, even though she took the kid away from that father. Because right now, y'all just playing real semantics right now when it comes to that conversation between marriage and the father and whatnot.
All right, so let me just jump here, fam. Just get brutal with this shit. So
go ahead, Taz.
This what sounds foolish to me. So y'all sitting here talking about marriage, and we're talking about the community who provides the most unwed mothers, the community that provides the least likely homes to provide a children with a married couple. So the idea that what we're talking about when we're talking about marriage is false. The black community isn't getting married. So leave that to the side.
I mean, that's what they said earlier, that they advise men not to get married. So I think again,
and it does happen. I hear it, and it's wrong. You shouldn't be telling men not to get married to somebody they want to be with. But in terms of the stepfather thing, which is what I want to get into, I really think there's a lot of disrespect given to a man that decides that he wants to help raise somebody else's child. It shouldn't be a hustle. It shouldn't just be where men are starting these 501c3s and being mentors to people. I like the idea of the stepfather because if a man does not present himself as the father and another man wants to step up and be that, he should be respected for that. Judging men based on what they're doing that is actually something commendable is bullshit. And I hate that disrespect going to men who are doing exactly what the black community would need, which is putting their hand in there and being there for a child that does not have that father representation. So whoever got smoke for stepfathers is really out of pocket, because if anything, have smoke for that real father who couldn't make it work with the woman he decided to have a baby with. I got 2 baby moms. I understand it ain't perfect, ain't nothing easy, but I made it work with them enough to where my child's quote unquote stepfather would also be somebody that's working with me. He would be my helpmate. My son's stepfather is not his father, but does he play a significant role in my son's life? Of course, because she's with him. So why would I diminish his role in my son's life if I want my son to grow up and be productive and whatnot? So I think the stepfather situation, a lot of times we're teaching young men to disrespect men who step into a role in their lives that is beneficial to them, and it's got to stop.
Mr. Taz, I want to say no one
on this panel actually. John, let me say this real fast. Like I said at the beginning, man, it's a thoughtless job.
It's thankless job.
I'm sorry. Thank you, sir. Being a father, period, is the same thing. But being a stepfather, you're not going to get the praise, the gratitude, and the appreciation you are. Like you said, we hear in the spaces all the time about how it's a very bad move to being a stepfather or dating a woman with kids. And I say that I'd say just the opposite. If you're a man who's looking to get married, and you're a man who's willing to open up your heart and your home to a woman with a child, man, hey man, I give you nothing but the utmost respect. Like I said, if it wasn't for my great grandfather, who was a stepfather, I wouldn't be the man I am today. There's no way I would have. And he didn't have to do it. He didn't have no kids at all when he got into a relationship with my great grandmother. But yet he took my grandmother in, took care of her, make sure she was good, make sure I was good as a young man, because my father wasn't always there in my life. I would be where I was because of it. So I don't have no problem with getting stepfather love and help from pray, as long as they the right type of stepfather. You know, again, you got some assholes out here that just ain't right, and to hell with those. But for the ones who doing right, man, hey, much love to you, brothers.
And I think the Mr. Taz, I think the sentiment of the panel tonight has been, matter of fact, my own words have been, if you do find a man that marries a single mother who has kids, and he marries her, she should call that man Lord, because that man is doing something honorable. So therefore, I don't think no one on this panel either. Wait, I don't think no one on this panel. And we can address with you on why you disagree with that. I don't think no one on this panel tonight has actually said that stepfathers are bad. I think we all try to put stepfathers in a realistic situation. Correct. We all try to put we try to make sure that the power is always in the man's responsibility, in the man's hand, and not the man is being ridiculed for being a stepfather by the woman or belittled, like in the video that Hink played earlier. But now you say you disagree, but you say you disagree with me when I said the man should be called Lord.
Can we come back to that? Can we come back to that? Because I got
no, we can't. I just got here. So look, what I'm saying is,
question, Taz. You ain't got to be disrespectful. It's a little podcast, bro. We don't got that kind of answer.
I wasn't looking at the screen, bro. You my nigga, bro. My bad. I wasn't looking at the screen. I thought you was somebody else.
Nah, it's me, bro.
That nigga said, bro, don't talk to me like that, bro. We fam. My bad, bro. I wasn't looking at the screen.
Because I think this is really more important than whether or not
wave the white flag.
Right? You got it, bro. Nah, that's my nigga, bro. I ain't waving no white flag. That's fam, bro. You checked me. I was wrong, nigga. You got it.
Yeah, that's the homie.
I got you, Taz.
I want to shoot it to you, Taz, but I want to open it up to everybody. And I know the married people, I'm saying take the bias that you have for marriage and just put it to the side and just follow the thought process, right? Please tell me what's the big deal about the actual marriage. I take religion out of it because not everybody practices religion or the same religions, right? Tell me why it is that it's so important for you to wife this woman up paperwork with the state. Why?
But you responded to John?
I'll answer that.
No, because Taz said something earlier. I'm responding to Taz.
Because if she wants that and your goal is to please her, you do that for her. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's what she wants, and a man is saying, okay, I'm willing to give you that, I'll give him that. I don't think we should look down on him or disrespect him because he chooses to make his woman happy.
Yeah, no, we passed the looking down disrespect. I'm just trying to get an understanding of how people think about this. Because even to your point now, when you say if it's something that she wants, right? But am I not supposed to be the leader in the relationship?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You as the leader of that relationship is saying, in my relationship, I won't do it. But the next man, what he chooses to do with his, again, I don't want to shit on him for making a decision that is probably in his mind the best decision for him. I can give him some advice.
That's what I'm saying, Taz. It ain't about shitting. I'm really trying, because look at it this way. I'm gonna give you an example, bro. And this is one of the reasons why I said take religion out of it, right? I talked about this. World Class knows the story. This lady, she put a post up and she said, my mom and my dad got divorced after more than 40 years of marriage, right? But why did they get divorced? Because her dad had hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical debt. And he didn't want to leave that on his wife when he died. So they got divorced.
That's 100.
So if she says, no, I want to stay married, is he supposed to say, okay, let's stay married so she can incur the debt? Or is this the smart decision to say, look, no, this is
but fam, that's what I'm saying. That is still the same situation in regard to how he's moving with her. He's doing what's best for her. So again, I get what you're saying, but if she says, hey, I want paperwork, I want a ring, I'm not going to be happy till I get that. Either you're going to have to provide that or you don't truly want to be with this woman.
Hey, can I say something?
Well, I understand. That's a good point that you made. But I wish I could get an answer that didn't have anything to do with the woman, right?
I could answer it, but I was waiting for
For
y'all to finish.
marriage? Wait, for marriage?
I can answer that
like,
too.
There's okay, and but fam, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes some of the conversation illegitimate, because if we're talking about marriage, there is no marriage without her and you. So if she's making a decision, it's got to include you. When you make a decision, it's got to include her. How much inclusion is the question? Everything ain't for her, everything ain't for me. But in terms of just that simple conversation, when we're talking about marriage, bro, yes, your decisions should center around making her happy. Absolutely. And hers should center around me. If y'all not getting married for that reason, what are you getting married for? Y'all supposed to be trying to make each other happy.
Okay, but I guess I would. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with your point of view,
but
right?
I'll let y'all.
Now, let me jump in there, Joe.
It would be weird to me to think if my son come to me and be like, "Man, Dad, why should I get married?" I'm not gonna say because your woman gonna want it. Like, I want to be able to tell him why it's a benefit to him, right? Besides the woman, and that's what I'm saying. It's always taxes, tax write-offs and all this other dumb shit. Religion, like, give me the physical, tangible reason why it makes sense for a man to be married. I don't see the point.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. If the man has centered his life around this woman, because I just, like I said, I get what you're saying, but you have to take out the personal bias and think about the man that centers his life around a woman. It makes perfect sense for him to attach himself to that woman forever. And I'm saying we've got to give those men the same respect as those who are saying don't get married.
Well, is that what you're doing in a relationship in general? Is centering yourself around the woman?
You're centering your happiness around her, yes. If you marry her, absolutely. You're happy. Hey, fam, look. Hey, look, but it's why so many.
That's dangerous.
Look, and this why some motherfuckers end up divorced and lonely. What is the point of marrying someone that you don't want to make happy? What would be the point?
Is that the whole point of being married? Because we're seeking our
No.
happiness throughout this, man. We're building this legacy. We're building our happiness. We're building what we want. We have a family. We're building our estate. We like. Sometimes this is not gonna be always happy in a marriage. Like, it's gonna be some times where I don't want to be around you, right? I'm not happy.
That's when I go to the garage and blaze.
Right. But
a few times a day, fam. A few times a day. What do you mean?
I never got married. Go ahead, Rick.
And this is what I was trying to address earlier, and we went off of it. What about marriage? What it means to me ain't gonna mean what it mean to you.
Facts.
Right? So if you don't, I could tell you what it mean to me, right? Again, everybody want to put the government at facts, right? That's what it's been turned to, yes. But what does it mean between the two people that's actually getting married? That's what really counts, podcast. And again, I don't knock nobody. If marriage is not for you, it's not for you. Please, but by all means, it's your life at the end of the day, right? But don't keep asking me what it mean to me, right? So again, the thing is this, and I said this before, I'll say it again. Gentlemen, stop asking other men what's the benefit of marriage to you. Your girl's supposed to convince your ass of that.
Right.
Yo, girl, stop asking me. My girl. What my girl does for me is what she does for me. It's a reason I married my wife. It's a reason why I see benefit in her. You don't see no benefit in your girl. She ain't. Hold on, podcast. Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Let me finish, please, sir. I didn't cut nobody off. Let me finish, please, sir. Right? Let me finish. Right? It is a woman's job to convince a man to marry her. I gotta ask. She doesn't ask me. We didn't have these conversations a million times. What we say about women when we see them down on one knee asking the dude to marry her. Right? Stop asking men what's the benefit of marriage. My marriage benefits me. Your girl doesn't benefit you enough for the risk you see. There is not enough reward in the girl you're with for you to marry her. That's the real issue.
Exactly.
That's disingenuous, man.
Is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know why? Because this is what I'm saying. First of all, the first part of it is disingenuous because we keep telling niggas they need to be getting married and starting families, and that's what's wrong with the black community, that it ain't enough marriage. So when these young men come to you and say, bro, what's the benefit of marriage? You need to have a better answer than the woman should tell you, and then you're gonna turn right around and tell
I didn't say your woman should tell you. I said your woman should convince you. You the one who was just being semantic about words. Your woman should convince you to marry her. Is she good enough? Is she that Proverbs woman? Is she good enough for you to risk it all?
Right, but what I'm saying is this.
Why is it being based
and world class, forgive me for what I'm about to say. My monogamy, as it's understood by most people, not what world class has taught me the word actually means, but as it's understood by enough people, is me saying, you know what, you're worth it. What does that have to do with paperwork? What does that have to do with that? And if you can't,
like I just said,
you keep throwing paperwork in here. You don't really have to go to the court to get married. Other ways to get married.
Hold on, that's not even my point. He keeps making my point. He keeps making my point. No matter what I say, if marriage is not a benefit for you, I couldn't. No matter what I told you, it's not going to be reasonable enough for you. You made up your mind.
But what he's asking, I think is legit though. I think he asked a legitimate question, because if my son came to me and said, Dad, what is the benefit of marriage? I should have better for him than, well, fam, you know, your stepmom is a wonderful woman, right? I should be able to provide a better answer. So I don't think he's saying nothing that's wrong.
Okay, so if that's the point, if that's what y'all hanging y'all head on, what is it then?
That's
because like I said,
but then I would defer back to your answer though.
Wait, hold on, Ricky.
Y'all making my
so
point,
you know,
bro.
I'm
It's subjective.
asking. I'm not asking.
It's
to
subjective. It's subjective to the man and the woman. What do you want out of your relationship?
Right. So the answer would be, the answer to that young man would be, well, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of a woman? Does she provide that for you? Is she that person?
Is your girl worth marrying? Is she worth marrying? Is your girl worth marrying?
And not only that, are you willing to lose her, to let her go?
Is your girl worth marrying?
Are you willing to do that? You gonna fatten up for these other frogs? Somebody's gonna find some benefit in her and gonna give her what she wants. Now, look, let me say this, ladies. I say it all the time. If you want to get married, let it be known you want to be married in the beginning.
Facts.
Don't get 5-10 years in a relationship talking about I want to get married. Oh, it's too late now. He set up. He done played house. Fuck this. We common law marriage, and we're gonna rock with like what podcasts are talking about. No, you gotta let it be known within that first 6 months. You know, I do want to get married. I'm looking to get married, and that's what my plan is to be married someday. And you better keep reminding him every 6 months if that's what you need. Every quarter, make a quarter reminder that man you want to be married. This is what you want. Take a ring. Don't let him take you ring shopping. You take his ass ring shopping. Say, baby, let's go to the jewelry store and see what they got over here. And do what you need to do to show that you want to be married. If not, your ass gonna be asked out, left in the wind, playing house. But hold on the podcast. CJ, go ahead, man. I know you ain't got to say nothing, so I'm gonna let you go and rock out one time.
Well, his question still hasn't been answered, but I'm gonna move on.
What's the question?
He just literally just
real quick. That's my man right there. That's my man right there.
I mean, niggas ain't been on there.
So I'm gonna throw a question to you, bro.
I ain't tripping.
CJ.
Huh?
No, hold on. Podcast, hold on, man. CJ, go ahead. What's the question?
He talking about
you asking the same question the podcast action?
Yeah, the podcast. His question won't answer because he was just asking what's the benefit on paper. Like,
and I just want to ask you now, since
what is the benefit? He already named something. If he don't want to accept it.
What did he name?
Okay.
Benefit to me marrying. Hold on. Benefit to me marrying my chick because hold on.
That's your
benefit to me marrying my chick. The benefit to me marrying my chick is because I wanted to marry. I knew I wanted to marry a woman in high school. I knew I wanted to be married to a special woman. I wanted a teacher. I wanted a healer, and I wanted a helpmate. And I got all that in mind. Okay. That's why I married mine. And I got tired of messing with scallywags and going out in the street. So if you don't like that answer, like I said, it's a biased question. Stop asking the fucking question. You're just not gonna like no one's answer.
Why do niggas feel the need to be so tough on the internet?
That's just how I talk, man. That's just how I talk. That's how I talk, man. Don't take it. Don't take it
Hold on, man.
offense.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing
Chill
this.
out.
We good, Hank. We good, Hank. They got it. They got it.
We good.
They got it, Hank. They got it.
No bad intent, y'all. That's how I talk. My bad.
Podcast. I'm gonna tell you why I want to get married. So you may not accept this answer. That's cool. I'm gonna give you my answer. Would you accept it or not? Okay, it is what it is. So the reason I want to be married is because I found a good woman, a woman who I could trust, who I could believe, and who I could pour into. I found a woman who I can't be without. Right now, she doesn't live with me, but I'm yearning for her to be right here. She's doing everything I could ask for in a woman who could possibly be a wife. Those are the benefits I'm talking about. She fulfills me emotionally. She fulfills me mentally. She fulfills me physically. With the things she's not that good at, she works hard and she tries. She's willing to learn. She's willing to be understanding. So those are the benefits that I'm getting. And that's the reason why I will bless her with my last name.
Okay.
Right.
So like
podcast. My bad. Podcast. My bad, man. Sorry.
We good.
What I was going to say.
Once you said what you said, I understood.
My bad.
Because podcast had that problem too. But once. Okay. So this is my question. Do we believe that stepfathers sign up to be stepfathers because they really give a damn about what the kid turns out to be, or because he really wants to be with the woman? Which one is it?
The woman.
Hey, can we go around the table to answer that question?
Yeah.
We got 3 answers already. Definitely the one.
Yeah, I would say this, fam. When a person says it's a package deal, the children probably don't matter until you're accepting the package. And so, like, I mean, I get why one would say, well, you only care about hitting the mom and whatnot, but I don't think your relevance in those children's lives would be, on the table if you weren't with the mom. And so, yeah, I do think the children come as part of the package. So yes, you have to be accepting of that in totality. I don't think anybody's coming to the door looking for stepkids to raise either. That's not you're going to have to want to be with her in order to be a stepfather.
Like, niggas coming
and that's
in,
the problem.
Like I'm really a man of principle, so I'm coming.
Wait, what you mean? That's the problem? Hold on, bro. You ain't supposed to be over nobody's kids if you ain't with their mom.
What?
The reason why I said that's the problem, because if you're looking to marry a woman, you should look with the intent of leading those kids, regardless if those are your kids or not.
Got you.
That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying what you said was a problem. I'm saying when stepdads come into situations and they don't look at, like, it is a package deal and you have to raise those kids and lead those kids, that's where they mess up. And it actually happened to me. It actually happened to me in real life. I had my mom got married when I was 10 and they divorced when I was like 20 something. And after that divorce, motherfucker didn't call me. Didn't talk to me. I'm 24 years old, 23.
Exactly.
Ain't call me, ain't text me. He pick his son up, but won't come in the house and say, "What's up, man? How you doing, Mike?" And he done know me since I was 10 years old.
Exactly, bro. That's my whole point. Like I went.
Here's the thing, though, bro. This is
a lot of them dudes,
my
man.
bad. I didn't hear somebody was talking. I didn't mean to cut you.
Trash dude for doing that shit. He's a trash dude for doing that.
Exactly.
Her single mama
Not
twice.
every man's like that, though. See,
but Hank, to his point,
it happens a lot, bro.
Those type of experiences is
I agree. You look. We know there's some trash ass dudes out here.
Right.
Hold on, Hank. Hold on. I mean, hold on.
We're not addressing
Hold on,
this.
Hank. Hold on, Hank. Okay, this part I say we have to be careful of what we say about men, right? Because what we're doing is this dude. Okay, and I'm not sorry for your mom and your stepdad's divorce and and I'm not being disagreeing to your feelings, because I understand that's some real pain for you. But the part I want to deal with is this. Okay, so now my question to you, because I wasn't in your family, was he a good father to you when he was in a home with him, and was he a good father to your brother, which is actually his real son? Just give me a yes or no answer.
No. My mom ruled that relationship. No, he was not a leader.
Biological son.
Fuck that nigga then.
Biological.
Even to his son, he wasn't a leader. No.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Dude, the least he can do is come in and say hello. You ain't got to come shake my hand, give me a hug, and they're but at least be cordial enough to say hello. If you have that, you knew me for over 20 something, damn near 20 something years. You can at least say hello.
So
He
I'm
ain't
not
no
saying
bad
I'm.
person.
But
You
look,
my
No,
can,
no,
uncle.
no.
but
Hey, we
listen,
don't
man,
know
can we
how he
add?
conducted himself
What
either.
Can we?
the reason why I wanted to stop him, because I want to ask him pertinent questions. He gave me one important insight. He said that his mom ran the relationship, and so therefore he wasn't a good man. Okay, so two things he just, and I really don't want to talk about your family like this, but I was trying to get some detail that we can talk about in a general
Do it
aspect,
in general.
aspect.
Do it in
Just
general.
in,
Do it in
correct,
general.
just in general. So, and the thing is, okay, in any relationship, if a woman is running a relationship, that man probably, any man who's subservient to the woman is never going to be an effective leader anyway. So he had to deal in that marriage, in this relationship. He's dealing with the ideal that I can never lead this family, but I always get blamed for everything that goes wrong. So
No,
his
that
first
didn't
problem
happen.
was like that video that you, like that. No, I'm not. I'm speaking in general, not just to you. I'm just speaking in
Okay.
general.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
in that video that Hink played, in the beginning of the show,
If he acted
that
like that
man,
guy, shit, he'd been done.
that man was not in. That man was never in charge of their home, and every decision that he made was never going to be effective. Was
Right,
never
and
going to
that's
be
that's
It
effective.
wasn't
that.
his own.
So that's I want to kind of go down that lane though, because to be honest, that's the more likely lane for, you know what I'm saying, these scenarios we talking about. Most likely niggas ain't
Say
moving
it,
in trying
Cash.
to be no dad and all this shit. Let's talk
Say
about the
that.
real scenario. The
Yep.
nigga that's fucking the woman that knows she got a kid, and then he give her another one. He knows she got two kids, he
No,
give her the third
man.
one.
No,
The nigga that
no,
give her the fourth
no.
kid. Because wait, what do you mean, nah? Because what happens is they play
I'm just it
stepdad
don't
for a
it
couple
don't
weeks.
matter. Like what I
It
was
don't matter.
just hold on, bro. Just relax. What
I'm
I'm
listening.
saying, the reason I'm saying it don't matter because at the end of the day, what matters is what he gonna do after if their relationship don't work, right? Because that's my whole point of bringing it up. Because I asked, do the guy come in to be with the woman or is he there for the kid? Most of the people answered he was there for the woman, and I think you, brother, you broke it down to a sense that it's a package deal. Got you. But when it's over, she's a single mother twice over. And these niggas don't stay in a relationship with the kids 90% of the time, bro. And
Hey,
Right.
Taz, don't let that
Right,
shit
which
fly. How
compounds the
was you
problem. That's
acting as
literally
a
had it happen
child?
but
twice.
that's why I'm saying it. That what I'm saying is that problem continues to compound
It
when
don't make
men
them
have
bad.
5, 6, 7
It don't,
baby mamas and shit like that. And even the younger men aren't being told stop running up in women that you don't want to be with. That's not the message.
I
Stop putting
agree.
babies in
I
women you
agree with
don't
that.
want to be with.
I
That
agree
ain't
with
the
that.
point, and it
I
Are you
should
with
be.
agree.
as a
I agree with.
are
I
you
agree
with
with
as
that.
a marry or just
I'm
be
not
with?
fighting
Which
that.
one?
I agree with that
Hey,
100%. What
hey,
I'm getting
Taz,
at,
I'm
can
gonna
is
say.
you
that
I'm
can
gonna
you
say. I'm
relationship.
gonna say
Come
something.
on, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say
can
something. Gonna
Taz
be. I'm gonna
address
say.
something real quick?
Jesus,
Can a
I
Taz
gotta talk.
address something real quick? The child, how do you conduct yourself growing up with your stepfather?
Salud.
You treated him like shit,
Bless you, bro.
and then now all of a sudden, I don't know the situation.
You ain't bringing that
You
Ebola
know,
on here,
come
are
on,
you?
man. It's bigger than that, man. It's bigger than that as a damn stepfather and a stepchild. Because didn't we start off
Okay,
earlier talking about
okay, all
the
right. So
rules
let me
about?
say this.
Families do better by removing the
Let me say
step.
this as
First
a
off,
let
you
me
do
say this
better
as
by removing the
let
step.
me say
Men
this.
do better by not being jealous of the next man helping his
Right.
fucking son.
That's what's up. Okay. So at the end of the day,
Taz.
I'm
Yeah,
a
you ain't
man.
listening to me, bro. That's why where we at, though. See what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we having this
Okay,
conversation. I can tell you my
there you
son had
go, Taz.
another
Right.
man who is
Right.
still active in his life, and he's
Right.
23. You know why? Because we do that. It's
Right.
cool. It's not
Right.
a big deal.
That's what's up.
We
So
don't come down on other men for being there for our children.
right. So
Taz.
at the end of the day, I'm a man that was married, right? I didn't break my marriage up. I mean, I know that's the typical narrative for black men, but I didn't break my marriage up, right? So
Right, you just failed,
sure,
nigga.
Failed.
man, shut your bitch
Failed.
ass up, nigga.
Yeah,
You
you
ain't
failed,
come
nigga.
on, nigga.
You
Come on with it.
failed.
I
You
already
failed. Don't get mad
I
because you
said that on
failed.
my own show. What you trying to attack me for? I've already
I'm
said
not.
that.
I'm just telling you the truth.
How
I
would
don't
you
This
know
is a
he
sugarcoat
sound
failed?
it.
conversation. Let's just
Nigga
How
at
have
the
a
would you
end wasn't
how
trying
would
to
you
tell
know
me
he
the truth.
failed though?
You put the nigga at the end, you changed
Because
the
he
whole
didn't
motive.
complete it. Because he
Like
didn't
what?
complete the mission.
How you know
If
he
he
didn't?
When you
he
added the
said he
nigga,
just said he didn't.
when you no, look, hold on,
Cass,
I can
she
defend
could have walked
myself. I'm a
away, man.
grown
Does
man.
that
I
mean he
don't,
failed?
I don't need no help.
Cass,
Failed,
she could
I
have
Taz.
don't
walked away.
need
Does
no
that mean he
help.
failed?
I don't need no. Hey, I
Hey
don't need no
fam,
help.
if you get married,
I don't
nigga,
need
and
no
you
help.
ain't married now,
I
and you're not happy in
if
your
you would get
marriage, nigga, you
quiet for a
failed,
minute,
fam.
Mr.
Why are we doing
Taz,
this?
All right,
if
break
you
your
would get
piece, bro.
quiet for
Okay,
a
man.
minute, Taz, I would tell you I agree. But what I'm responding to is the nigga at the end because there was a shot. Don't play stupid with me. That's what you was doing.
You a nigga, ain't you?
No, I'm a
Nigga?
man.
No,
I'm a
no,
man.
no.
Okay, brother.
I'm a man.
Okay, brother.
Yeah, put some respect on it. Yeah, there you go. Tighten up. So at the
Hey,
end
my
of the
nigga,
day,
come on, bro.
this
Clean
is
it
what I
up.
was
Let's go.
saying. This is what I was saying because you cut me off to say that. This on top.
Come on, bro. Come on, you got it, bro. Come on.
All right, cool. So look, as a man that marriage failed, but still fought for custody for my kid, right?
1,000.
Within a few months of my ex-wife meeting a new man, she was telling my daughter to call him dad.
Ooh, that's rough.
Okay.
Okay. So, but now that was 2-3 years ago. He's still there. But my whole point to her and telling her not to do that is because I'm still here as a father. He ain't step in to do shit. He's fucking the baby mama. Like that's it. That's the only difference between me and him. That he's there.
Are they married?
Oh, it's a big difference. He lived with her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nigga. It's a big difference. You heard that nigga that time? You heard the nigga that time? It's a big difference.
My child support got in the house.
He's in your daughter's life every day.
I pay that mortgage, goddamn it. You hear me?
1,000, bro. Like I'm not taking nothing from you as a father, but can you listen to me though? Just had a conversation. Because I would never take nothing from you as a father. But why are you taking from him if he's there with your child every day?
I'm not taking from him.
It sounds like you don't have a level of respect for him as your child's father.
Well, I don't. Well, he's
you
not.
Don't get,
not her father.
You don't get to have credit as a man for.
Okay, so stepfather isn't a father.
I'm going to be here till the day she die, bro.
Hey fam, hold on, bro. Hey man, can the third party shut his weak ass up, bro? I'm trying to holler at this man, bro.
Calm down. Let Daz and them talk.
Like, bro, I'm trying to have this conversation. This is real shit, bro. So if you telling me that she had the foresight to say this was a good man, which I don't believe in or agree with calling the man dad after a couple months, but if she had the foresight to do that, bro, and it's 3 years later, you mean to tell me you can't show that man a higher level of respect for being in your daughter's life every day?
I don't respect him for doing something he wanted to do, bro. To me, that doesn't
way before 2 months, bro.
Now I will say this: I'm glad that she's not being raised in the house with just a woman. I will say that. I'll give him credit for doing what a man is supposed to do. But if you're talking about a father, and then my situation is a little different. Like it's almost come to the point where I'm throwing hands with this man for disrespect. So it's a little different. Like I ain't just come. I don't have reverence for a nigga just because you decided. Well, I like this woman's ass. I'm gonna deal with her, and she got a kid.
Taz went and got his son.
That's not.
I ain't saying reverence, bro. I said respect, bro, not reverence.
I gotta be honest with you. That's at least 50%, if not more, of the guys out here that deal with women with kids. It ain't got nothing to do with the kids. It really is all about.
I don't disagree with that. But if they're there in your children's lives, you better make sure they give some fuck about them.
Oh, listen, bro. My son,
you share your story all the time.
And we had a run in, and then after that, we was cool. And when I seen the energy that my son had with him, like the first time he came to visit me down here in Kentucky, when I took him back home and they met me in Indiana.
Hold on.
My son told me, he was like, Dad, I'm sad to leave you, but I am glad to see him. And I was like, that's all good, son. But when my son got out that car and I was on my way home, I was look
at that last comment.
That shit hurt.
This is why I have a problem with it. Look at that last comment. Look at the last comment, bro. No respect for another man raising your child that you're not raising. How am I not raising my child? This is the mentality in our community.
Being in the household with your child, bro, you get more credit for raising them, and you know that.
Right. And Taz went and got his child. His child came to him. So Taz is not trying to dog you, bro.
Yeah, I really ain't, bro. I've been through that shit already.
I literally didn't say
he's not dogging you. Taz is not dogging you.
I didn't say he was. I don't think he's disrespecting me. I don't think Taz is disrespecting me but one time, and I addressed it already.
We good, bro.
Let me say
You're raising your voice at Taz. Taz went through the shit.
Hold on.
Real quick, and I'm gonna be quiet and let y'all argue. Listen, Hink, respectfully, you the big homie. I rock with you, but you didn't answer the question either. And this is what y'all did. Y'all reworded the question, and you said, "Why I want to get married." I said, "What is the benefit of getting married, right? So here's the thing, and I'm not being facetious when I say this. If I ask you niggas, why do you choose the PlayStation over the Xbox? You will give me a more detailed answer. You will say, "Oh yeah, specs on the Xbox, specs on the PlayStation is better. The controller is smaller. It feels better in my hand. The visuals is better. The gameplay is better." You will name the things about that.
Can I answer the question?
Wait, God fucking damn it, bro. Let somebody land. When I asked the question about what's the benefit of marriage, you can't tell me what makes her fire. I ain't asking you about her. You get all those things that you saying you can have with that woman, you can have that without the paperwork. I'm asking you, what is the benefit of the goddamn paperwork? Can anybody answer that? Or it's okay to say, no.
Okay, let me answer that question with the paperwork, because at first it wasn't paperwork. But go ahead, Hink.
That's the marriage.
Okay, let me answer the question.
That's not the marriage.
When you ask me what's the benefit of marriage, right?
Yes.
Other than the tax breaks and all that other stuff you said, right?
And religion.
Wait, I mentioned the tax breaks, Hink?
Yeah, I thought you.
Oh, so obviously I was talking about the goddamn paperwork, right? Exactly.
But you move your question. You move the goalpost twice now.
Let me finish it.
I'm literally saying the marriage.
Hold on, podcast.
Okay, podcast. Focus on me, bro. Focus on me. I got you. When you ask that question, about
check the back.
Why would I get married, right? Or why would I get married? Or whatever your question was, and I gave you the reasons why what it was about her to make me want to marry her. That was my benefits. So I did answer your question. I told you what I liked about her, what she provides for me, what she brings to me, and that's what I want in a marriage. That's the things I'm looking for. So that's what she's doing. So I did answer your question.
But you're saying you have that now and you're not married. So that's the point. I'm saying
I'm married.
So what's the benefit?
But did you also hear what I said? I don't want her to be a free agent out there for the next man to get. So in order for that to do it, I got to marry her. She set the expectations. I want to get married. Okay, either I can still date her or I need to back off because that's not what I want. I'm okay with getting married again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going to do it.
That to me, I think is an actual legitimate answer to the question, right? Is you don't want her to be a free agent. So that's a benefit of marrying her, even though we know wives cheat all the time. But okay, right? I get the point that you're making. But that's what I'm saying. Like when I'm saying the benefit of marriage, that's what I mean. People have relationships. I'm saying, what is the benefit of spending $30,000 to $50,000 to walk down the aisle? What is the benefit of spending $10,000 to $20,000 on the ring? What is the benefit of having all of this paperwork and everything in your name and her name?
And many people don't pay that much money.
And all this other stuff. What is the benefit of all of that? That's my point, is because when you look at these younger cats, by the way, 39% of black households have married couples in them. 39%. So just keep that in mind. It ain't like we just out here.
And most of them go to the justice of the peace, man.
Okay?
Anybody ain't having.
The fact of the matter is that when I say that, I'm saying the marriage itself. I could give you whatever it is I have to give you. I could give you that without the paperwork. So why is it that, especially on YouTube, we have a lot of people who want to condemn your relationship because it don't have paperwork, right? I've been with my girl for 13 years. You don't want to address her as my wife. Meanwhile, half the niggas you know was divorced in 5 years. With that paperwork that's so godly, so mandatory for the sanctity of your relationship, for the validity of your relationship, you need that paperwork. But I'm 13 years in.
Can I help you out?
To be honest, I don't think you need. I don't think you need a state to recognize your marriage. Now, because you did say you did exclude religion too.
Hey, Hink, let me go after John the Baptist.
It's not legitimate.
No. I think that you can. I don't think men should use the state involved in marriage. If I'd have known what I know now, I would have involved the state in my marriage. I would have kept it religious, because the religion gives me my benefit for my wife. But to answer your question directly, podcast, I don't know if there's any benefit outside of religion for me for marriage. For me, that would be. I need religion for me to want to be married.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Stan.
that's why I said that earlier. Like, what is without that? Because everybody don't subscribe to religion either, right?
Correct.
The young cats, they're gonna want to know. We can't sit on podcasts all day and say we need more black family, nuclear family. We need to be married. And then when the young cats say, "Well, what's the benefit of me getting married if she's just gonna leave, divorce me, take half anyway?" Everybody's, well, my girl. Right. No, you have to have legitimate, logical reasons to say this is the benefit of this, my brother. Whether you now, I asked specifically for you to take out spirituality, but if you want to throw that in, you can, right? You can't say, "Yo, it's a spiritual benefit, it's this and that, blah 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 blah." But then you would be being disingenuous because we're talking about paperwork.
No.
Okay,
I'm
so
actually agreeing
so
with
let
you.
me give you.
I recognize what you're saying.
Let me give you an example of when I've. So let me give you an example of when I've told somebody that it would be better for them to get married. Maybe that'll work, right? So if
Dusto, stop laughing.
For example, when a man gets a woman pregnant and she has the child, in I think it's like 48 of the 50 states, the child automatically is hers. It's automatically her custody, and you have no rights to the child unless you marry that woman. Those are the times when I do tell men that it is a benefit to get married, because if you're married to her, she does not have an automatic custody right over your child. But most men, again, aren't having a conversation about marriage because they don't understand that having a child by a woman means you're letting her have custody automatically as an unwed mother. That's how that works. That's why I've given the advice of marriage in terms of having a child by somebody. Absolutely.
Hey, Taz, I got a question.
Can we just acknowledge that it's just it's a subjective? Is this a subjective answer?
No, that's a fact. What I just told you.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, but that scenario is subjective to the person going through that. If if a man and woman get married and there's no kids involved, that your answer to that question.
But he asked for a benefit, and I'm giving him a benefit.
That's a direct answer to the question, though, Dub. I get what you're saying, Dub. You're right. But that answer is a direct answer to the question. That is an absolute benefit to marriage because it prevents you from having default, what they call it, custodial parenting, right? So that's an absolute benefit to marriage. That's
okay. But overall,
Hink, I got a question whenever.
Yeah, let Dusto go, and I go after
Go ahead, Dusto.
After everybody else gets
there. Yeah, I've been listening for me.
Go ahead, Dusty nigga.
Yeah, I've been listening for
me. Too damn much. Don't get to cook.
No, I ain't gonna go in. I'm just going light. I hear. Let's be real. The talking point mafia and all these spaces advocate most of it's junk. Let's be real. It's garbage, and the results back it up. Ain't nobody getting married. And the same people who was mad last year, mad this year, they uglier and dusty, the men and the women. Let's be real. But it's entertaining, so cool. But I got pushed back on the fact that the men are these leaders, and we're willing, if you hear a bump in the middle of the night, the man's going to risk his life. So how
Nobody said that tonight. Nobody said that tonight, Scam.
But you get where I'm going. I gotta be dramatic. So the man's going to risk his life, and you need to follow and submit. But then you pull out this paperwork here. It goes, the government. So let's just say I got a son I got a daughter, 25, and it's a man coming in saying he's going to take this wife. I'm going to give it the best life. I'm going to risk it all. But then when it comes to the government, I ain't risking all that. But he wants to go raw. Make it make sense.
Oh, my God.
Risking it all, sticking your meat in there, you might die. Because here comes the data. All the women all got AIDS. The woman leaving them, but you're willing to get raw, but you can't sign the damn paper.
God, it's not about not signing the paper, but
no podcast. I understand where you're coming from. That's different.
Podcast. Okay. He need a new muscle shirt and a new talking point.
No, CJ. The talking points are all the same. I need new ones to throw.
I know, that's my point.
I need new ones to beat up.
But we ain't had him talking
about I get what you're saying, but that's what I'm saying. It's rational fear. You can't Who can argue that it's irrational?
No, I'm saying if you're gonna take marriage, take the whole thing all the way.
Scam, look.
Otherwise, what you marrying her for? What you dealing with it for?
Scam, look. If you're the type of person,
you're right.
Your soapbox is black folk need to be men, right? That's your answer to everything. Is marriage and nuclear families and all that other stuff. Then you have to be able to tell these guys something that makes it make sense for them to jump into that. Besides, they need to do it because
podcast. Can you tell these dudes anything?
Okay, but wait, Scam. But I'm not being facetious right now. I'm being.
No, I'm just. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's not gonna result, bro. Every dude right now that's talking to a chick right now could say, "Fuck it, go tomorrow, buy a ring, put it on my finger, take it out to the courthouse, and marry her." What percentage of those marriages do you think is going to last?
Well, I'm not going to just tell you
podcast.
to get married.
Podcast. I'm answering your question.
Then I'll tell you to get married.
No, let me answer your question.
Every dude's marriage minded. Go ahead.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Yeah.
Why are those marriages not lasting to begin with? Does it got to do with the data and some other stuff, or it's got to do with the two damn people?
It does.
Damn people.
So the problem is, why not make better people or encourage and actually guide better people with actual relationship skills? Then you don't have to have a conversation. No, I'm just be real. My sister is married. Been married since what? 01? My parents been married since 76. I got friends who've been married as in a few years ago. That's saying they don't even argue with their spouses. And I know these people, I know it's to be real. These are the people I talk to, not to the talking point, Mafia. And oh, trust me, they be on my ass too. They give me hell. But they talk about actual relationship skills, communication, setting expectations, real leadership, not the dusty bullshit. Those are the things that's keeping people married. But they don't talk, even the advocates, always for marriage, all the rings. All they're doing is beating up on single people with the same
right. There you go.
Being all because of God. I'm a Christian myself.
So out of that,
I owe people an apology for the dust that they've been pitching.
So let me ask you something. Out of that 50% of people that get divorced in America, how much of them dusty? I just curious.
Go talk to them. You'll find out. Go talk to them about communication. No, hear me out. Hear me out. Ask them, talk to them about communication, listening, setting expectations, leadership. Or are they going to sit and tell you something? The women's.
Or the
if
men.
it's women's that's telling you why they got divorced. Huh?
Or just ask them same people, why did you get married in the first place? 90% of them won't give you a coherent
They wanted some butt.
For a family.
Great point.
That's why I got married.
That is a great point.
And here's the thing: grace for the people who did the best they can with what they had. Grace for those.
I got you. So look, part of the thing is, man, are y'all having these tough conversations with these women y'all entertaining?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely. That's why I ain't got no more kids.
I'll answer the question.
I'll answer it. TJ, you in the vast minority, brother. You in the vast minority.
Most men don't have kids.
Hold on.
So I'm gonna give
John the Baptist. Hold on.
Yeah, let me finish. Then let me answer.
Let me
Let
finish.
the host talk, man.
Let me finish. So part of these tough questions you need to be asking is, what's your intentions on marriage?
The beginning.
Are your intentions pure? Are you coming to these women with pure intentions? And then when these women are coming to you, letting you know, hey, I want to get married. What are you stringing them along? Are you entertaining this, or what are you doing? Are you going to continue to play house? Because if that's what you're doing, just step off, find it. Because there are women out here who don't want to get married. Go get with those, and leave those women who do want to get married alone, and allow them to find the right man for themselves.
Let me answer first.
Let me know when I can answer. Let me know when I can answer.
Almost done.
Let me know when I can answer. Because I want to answer.
One mic.
Guys, I got you.
Let him finish.
But with that being said, are y'all stringing these women along? Don't string them along. Let them know what it is. No, baby, I'm looking at Mary. So now she can make the decision. Do I want to stay with this guy? Even though he told me he was straight up and honest with me. He don't want to get married, but I do. Or you letting him move on? Go ahead, John.
Hank, Can I answer after John? I'm trying to keep it clean.
Let John the Baptist go, and let me go after Scam like
Let him go and start the
Are you a
timer.
moderator or something?
Very presumptuous.
So
Go
man,
ahead.
Trying to
that's
keep
my
it clean.
brother, man. Because it's only one mic over
I got
here.
it. I got it. I got it.
Reply.
John, go first, then Scam, then Stan.
Appreciate it, Hank.
To answer the question, yes, I was direct with my wife when I first met her. We communicated. At 20 years old, and you had to be old to figure this out. At 20 years old, I told her the vision, the plan. First of all, when I first met her, I watched her for like 2 months. We was in the military. I watched her for 2 months. Started talking to her within about after that 2 months. Within 2-3 weeks, I knew we was finna get married. I knew I was going to marry this woman. Told her we was going to get married, and told her to communicate it to her, gave her the vision, the goals for the marriage, and then executed them from that point forward. So yes, you have to be direct. You have to have communication, and you have to have a vision. And you got to communicate that vision. And I can honestly say now, we got married when I was 21. She was 19. I am now 49, and she is about to be 47. You can do it if you communicate and be direct and stop stringing women along. And you also have to stop just. I'm gonna say this. I'm landing a plane right here and be done with it. Stop having sex with women who you have no intention of being with. I know as a man, you got the right to do what you want to do. True, cool, you had that right. But as long as you keep having sex with women that you never plan on marrying, you're still creating the problem that you're dealing with. So be intentional and be direct. Stop sleeping with women you're not gonna marry. And I'm done.
Yeah, but see that
ahead,
right.
Stan.
I'll go. My bad.
Yeah.
Jump a line,
That's a
man.
good. Yeah, Hank, that's a good point. That's a factor, but there's way more factors to include other than stringing along. But I'll just try to say it as holistically. Most of the dudes out here ain't husbands. They're not. Most of the women ain't wives.
That's
But
a fact.
most of the conversations are about people who are not. All the women's, all the men's, all the dusty people. And they keep circling around about the junk when it comes to all 68% of the people ain't doing it. Yeah, go talk to them and you'll see why. Listen to them. Go, what about the other 32? Well, I don't know about them. They don't sound like them 68 over there crying about women's and all this other stupid shit. But on the other side, let's say it's 10 or 20%. There's certain skills that are needed. You need to be attractive. I'm ugly, so I'm ruled out. Need to be in shape, take care of your body, take care of your mind, be positive, have some confidence, some leadership, some guidance, some communication skills. The day's going to be different the next year. Oh, damn it. I can't win for nothing. I got to go get a Wigosaurus now. But no, there's some things, or if you go and look, go whatever city you are, go to the upscale place where the best men got the best women. Those men did something, or they are doing something, and it's working. Excuse me, sir. Can I take you to lunch? I'm screwed up and I'm stuck with Wigosauruses. What is it that you're doing that I'm not? They probably won't give you all these damn talking points. It's so run and make them pay for their own lunch.
The Scam, what they're going to ask you is, if it's that simple and it works, why haven't you been married this entire time? That's all.
I never said. Did I say it was simple?
No, I didn't say you said anything. I said
he never said it was simple.
He said what they're going to ask you.
Yeah. What they're going to ask you is, why haven't you been married this entire time? Because what you're saying sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds great.
Okay.
But it has to actually apply in real life. And what applies
he
in real life
adjusted through the time.
Hold on, Stan. What applies in real life
was mixed, by the way.
These females have changed. And you've acknowledged that change. And you've watched them make statements in the comments. They've changed.
Mm-hmm.
So to John the Baptist's point, stop marrying a chick that you don't want to, stop dealing with a chick that you don't want to marry. But what happens when you deal with a chick that you want to marry and somebody's running a fucking train on her? Or she's the type of chick that everybody didn't hit. Or she's a city girl, but you don't know that. Because she's in this new school of not telling you to the last moment. Then
I can answer it.
I'm
done.
sermon on that one.
No, I can answer it.
Go ahead.
Unfortunately, some things are what they are, and if you pick wrong and you miss the signs, there's a price to pay. That just is what it is.
But that's all they're saying, though. But that's all they're saying. The guys you calling the dust panels, that's what they're saying. We took about our L's.
World class. You've been on the
Go
dust
ahead.
panels. Would you introduce your sister to these dudes and say submit to this on the dust panels?
She probably shoot him, but no.
Why? Does it have to do with picking wrong or the dudes just dusting?
Okay, but
A lot
that's
of
not
them
the
does.
point.
No, and here's the thing. There is
That's the
grace for
point,
people
man.
who tried. No,
It's
hold
not.
on. No podcast. I'm answering.
Right now, what you're doing is you're looking at the
They're
messenger.
separate.
I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm not saying I don't ever look at the messenger because I do. I'm saying the message still has its validity though, right?
No, he's correct.
The biggest point that World Class just made that I think for whatever reason on this show every nigga is overlooking is that women are not the same. We are not in the same environment. The outcomes are not the same. The process to dating women and meeting them, it's not the same. Nothing is the same anymore, right? So that's what I'm saying when I ask what's the benefit to this and blah, 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 blah. It's not because I hate women. Like I said, I've been with my girl for 13 years. I ain't been with another one for 10.
Okay.
So that's the point is that I'm giving you something even a nigga that would marry you probably wouldn't give you, which is my straight up, again, forgive me, World Class, monogamy. Right?
No, I was going to answer it.
So I'm saying the fact of the matter is, I agree with what Hink is saying, but I think that's in 2023, I think that's outdated thinking. These women ain't playing the same game, bro. They not. Some of those videos be made up, but I know y'all seen some of the videos where the nigga try to flirt with the girl. She act like she don't want to have nothing to do with him.
Yeah, them stay fake.
Turn around, she see it in the Maserati. All of a sudden, she right back at the car. That's what
Those are fake.
That's what niggas is
Those
dealing
are
with.
fake, bro. They're fake.
I acknowledge
Yeah,
that.
Okay.
It's fake, but it speaks to a greater point.
Exactly.
It
It speaks to a greater point. The mindset, bro, of women in general right now that we're dealing with. I support women. I'm always on my channel supporting women. I support them being whores. I support them being whatever they want to be. I'm saying I want everybody to be honest about who they are, but I also want people to stop thinking that they got some sort of it's some sort of hierarchy. We married, so we up here. Well, statistically, that shit gonna last 5 years.
I get what you're saying, but within reason.
My relationship because y'all got a piece of paper. Nobody cares, dog.
No, I get what you're saying, but within reason. They can go two ways. There are some married people that just come up to say they're married and beat up on single people. Yes, they're dusty. It is what it is. People are people. Just like there are some dudes who cannot discern good woman from bad woman. Unfortunately, it comes with a cost, but it is a relationship skill. That's all I'm saying. I'll throw myself under there. I've dusted plenty. I've dusted. I'm still single, and there's a reason for it. The worst things is the women that I picked were marriable. They were so marriable that they married now to somebody else. Most of them. But that means I dusted in another area. It means, okay, you can pick good women. I got another dust problem I got to work out. Somebody else, their dust problem might be understanding what a woman is. She sold a vagina on eBay last week and he don't know about it, but the signs were there. He couldn't see them. But he might have great communication. Unfortunately, it is the way it is. What can I say?
So we can take out the reality TV shows and we could just look at the dating pool. We don't date, nigga. We meet each other and we fuck.
Correct.
Like, and then if the sex is good, we're together.
I'm a virgin.
Like this is like it's like this is how I can tell niggas be out of touch for real. Like the shit they be talking about. You be out of touch, bro. Nobody's dating for real. This is why I'm gonna say this out loud. It's hard for me to say, but I'm doing it. I'm celibate right now, as best as I can be. I'm just gonna say as best as I can be because I agree with the standpoint of you don't put your Johnson you don't see having your last name. I agree.
I'm trying to go dry meat too.
It's not easy.
It's
not easy.
Right.
I know. Go ahead, bro.
Well, first of all, but back, CJ, when I said that you're in a minority, I was speaking on you talking about you asking the question why you want to be in a relationship. I wasn't coming at you sideways.
I'll let you later, Hank.
But one thing,
I'm holler at you later, man.
Peace, bro.
Appreciate
y'all.
y'all.
Peace out,
bro.
Peace out.
Yeah. One thing, speaking as married guy, got the paperwork, all that bullshit, right? First of all, podcast, if you spend $50,000 on wedding, you're insane. That's one. Secondly, if what annoys me about these conversations when I hear other married people talk, they speak as if everything is guaranteed. There are no guarantees.
the lion.
That's one thing.
But, yeah.
That's one thing we married people got to be honest about. To single people, non-married people, is that even if you're marriage minded, she's marriage minded, you find a marriageable one, all that, it's still a chance she can go left on you, or you can go left on her. It's a possibility, right?
Yep.
So we just got to be honest about that. And even in 2023, let's be real. Most people don't want to be married. So you ask what's the benefit of getting married today? I'll be honest with you, I don't know. It purely is subjective. That's the answer to your question, podcast. It's subjective.
Great answer.
The reason that stuff,
Thank
the
you
reason
for
these
being brave enough to give it. You know what I'm
the
saying?
reason
Like,
these
yeah.
the reason these conversations come up is because when you get into the nuances of stepdad this, stepdad that, and like CG was giving his perspective, you interrupt it with this standard issue shame a male thing as the, you know what I'm saying, as this reflex blame it. You should have married her. You should, as if, and that's where that guarantee part come in, that will, when you always met with this bullshit, you should have married her, goes to the podcast point. What is how powerful is that paperwork? So that's what I'm saying. So I'm like,
you're in the back. I appreciate that, man. Sorry about that, world class.
World class. I got you. I got you.
That's where it comes in when you have these. That's what triggers these guys, and then you get the.
Show me it's you in the back, man.
Yeah, and I'm talking about successfully married, not just married.
I understand that. I understand because I've never pushed back on that, because in every other situation, you want somebody, you want a successful person to talk to. You at least want that person as a reference, or those people as a reference. So I don't push back on that.
Successfully married people talk a way different game than just married people.
That's facts. That's correct.
I got you, man.
It's way different. The talking points, I put it, most of the successfully married people aren't willing to come and listen to this bullshit, just being honest. They're not clicking these links.
Yeah. What I said something earlier, and I can't remember what somebody responded, but I said I was agreeing with what podcast said, that in today's time, I'm not advising. I wouldn't advise people to get married, because they're marrying for the entirely wrong reasons.
Facts.
And
I got pushback.
They say it's nothing new under the sun, but Jesus didn't have an iPhone. Go ahead.
Bro, you got to think about a scam. It's the same. You know why most.
So I think
I got a different reason for pushing back. But go ahead.
Hold on, scam. Most homes get foreclosed on every year. You know why most of them do? Because people got the house just so they could say they was a homeowner.
Fact.
Just so they could look at their other friends and say, I ain't no renter. And then you turn around and the house is getting foreclosed on. Google it if you think I'm making it up.
No,
makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's because they living above their means, though.
But guess what? They probably would have got evicted from their apartments too.
For the wrong reason. You get in the house just to say you're not a renter, right? And this is what people get married just to say that they not single. Or we ain't just dating, or we ain't just shacking up.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
5 years later, you a single mama, and this nigga broke back at home with his mama paying alimony and child support to her.
No, podcast. I'm pushing back. Podcast. I agree. I'm pushing back with you.
Hold on. I got you.
Why you pushing back? Why you put? Oh, go ahead.
The host.
Hold on. Let me say this real fast. Welcome, Sherelle.
Hey everybody, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes, man. Let me ask you. I gotta ask you this question. It's first time in the basement, man. What is your guilty pleasure song? What is your guilty pleasure?
What's a guilty pleasure?
Songs now. Songs.
Songs.
Yeah. Please don't say nothing else but songs.
Oh, you didn't ask me that.
Will, you been here before?
Brent Fayez.
Was
that Brent Fayez?
Showing your age.
Brent Fayez.
I got you.
Sanders Son, the whole album.
Is that your song? Is that your go-to?
Yeah, the whole album. I take a shower to the song. The album.
I know that's right. I know. Well, we're gonna leave it at that.
I've never answered that question. Hall & Oates is my guilty pleasure. Hall & Oates.
I can go with that. That's one of mine. That and New Kids on the Block. Right on. But Sherelle, what do you have on this topic, man? Now it was about stepfather. Somehow it got turned into marriage.
Because of podcast.
I'm pretty sure podcast did it.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
This nigga was the title.
I
That's a
know
fact.
podcast, makes the panel
Podcast
about
did
him.
it was podcast. We changed it.
You gonna blame it
It's
on
I'm
always
podcast?
innocent.
Podcast. We
For
podcast. I
changed
once,
it.
I'm
know.
innocent. For
I
once,
know
I'm innocent.
podcast. Far as marriage, I do think people should legitimize it. I said something in the chat about like your driver's license, right? Like you can drive without a driver's license, but if you get stopped, you're gonna get a ticket, right? So the license doesn't actually, make you a driver or not or whatever, but it legitimizes you. I think like in this country, we prioritize paperwork. That is what it is. When we born, we all have social security numbers. You have a social security number and a birth certificate or some type of green card or whatever, or you could be shipped about the country. So like we're about paperwork. I do think like behind the scenes, business wise, like with your 401k and different things like that, that marriages come with benefits. You have certain rights and stuff like that. Everybody else is kind of like fighting for the rights outside of it or whatever. But I also do think that it's a portion of it. What podcast is saying is that people are no longer like really getting married to be married. They're getting married for status, right? Because if you just wanted to get married because you believed in the infrastructure of marriage, everybody would just be at the justice of the peace. But people are waiting for the wedding, the $20,000 ring, and they've been together for 6-7 years because they're waiting. Like the woman is not going to marry this man unless he gives her this $30,000 wedding or whatever. Whole time they renting an apartment, you know. So I think it's two sides to the factor, but that's my opinion.
I think it's a little more to it than that.
If a man is dealing with a materialistic woman like that, then that's on you, dog. That's on you. If you dealing with a materialistic woman like that, that's your choice.
The signs will be there for that.
Show how materialistic she was. She's done it multiple times, but you thought it was cute. You thought it was okay. Maybe you could afford it at the time. Now all of a sudden your income changed a little bit. Now you can't afford it like you used to, or you just can't afford that $50,000 ring she talking about, and that $125,000 wedding that podcast is going to have when he gets married.
Yeah, I'm talking about these stepdads.
Think about it like
I want y'all to be real about these stepdaddies, man. Like,
wait, hold on, real quick. Think about it like
We got to
this.
get back to
in real life, man.
podcast. We got to get back to
think about it like
stepdaddy.
this, though. In real life, right? This is why I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep. I see now I'm the gatekeeper of this. I have to keep saying it. Bro, a lot of these niggas qualify for that. It just is what it is, bro. Like, if your choice is the girl who's a 5 in the face, and a I don't like using 7, but for the sake of the conversation, she a 5 in the face, she a 7 in the body, she got a great bed voice, and she could cook a little bit, but she come with 2 rug rats and she have a little attitude, versus a girl that's a 6 in the face, a 2 in the body, about 290 pounds, right? She don't got no kids, but no matter how much she bathe, it's a smell.
Why you talking about me? Why you talking about me? Podcast? You throwing shots?
Shut up.
Be civilized over here. Be civilized.
We say things and then we pretend like they don't exist in the very next sentence, right? What do we hear in the space all the time when men are arguing with women about why they choose the women they choose? Men are visual creatures.
Mm-hmm. So there's more to it than that, but keep going.
Then understand why they tolerate some of the shit that they tolerate. It's because that's what they qualify for, to get the visual effect that they're going for. They don't want the lesser version of the girl visually. She might be awesome as a feminine, and what is the other one? Submissive, cooperative. She might be all of that, but I don't want that. My girl, thick as shit, big ass titties. That's what I like. Period, point blank. She has given me hell, nigga, for the past 13 years. But at the end of the day, I'm sticking with her because it was gonna be hell with either one of them, right? And that's who I qualify for. I don't qualify for Q, Island Girl Q. I don't qualify for Sherelle. You see what I'm saying? So I know what I qualify for, and I'm sticking with that. That's the point. Is that niggas, we try to make it seem like every nigga out here has the option to just become the best version, or we all gonna be 6-figure earners with pink beards.
Why do you do that shit?
Why the Hink beard, baby?
Why can't
with
y'all
the
just
Hink
have
beard
a
and the Hink
conversation?
voice?
Like it's like this annoys me about what you just did.
I have to do it too because I'm a troll.
I get it, but it's fucking annoying because it's like
You
when
talking
we
about
have,
me?
you. When we having the conversation, it's like we don't respect the lame ass niggas. The lame ass niggas is lame ass niggas. Their points is not valid, but every goddamn time we have a conversation, we gotta bring up their points. God damn. Like, bro.
Some of us got to do it, CJ. We just have to.
CJ, it's because it's not their points.
Bro, I don't care. I don't care who points it is.
It's not their points. They're just regurgitating some shit.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a
CJ, the dust panels drive us to this, man. I don't know what they do.
Nigga, world class does not play for the Ravens, and I can't stand when you talk about the Ravens. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't want to hear about them. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I'm gonna be Ray Lewis on the panels. I'm gonna be all animated.
So see this shit.
I want to bring up one thing.
Are you reading the chat, CJ?
Ray Lewis.
Niggas get on my nerves. But
no, he's animated.
So,
okay.
So, at the end of the day, I wanted to talk about this stepfather. That's the whole reason I got on here, because we sell this narrative like stepfathers are just these glorious, child loving, football coaching niggas, and it's just that's not what the majority of them are, bro. I'm sorry, it's just not what it is.
Yeah,
and in a lot of situations, they give more respect. This is why I never bought into this stepdad conversation in this space, right? Niggas, this is how I look at it. In our community, stepfathers are more respected than actual fathers, especially.
That's a fact. Absolutely fact.
Like they will fight you tooth and nail, and then they would tell you. My grandmama told me that I got to. Basically, she told me, like, I know this your daughter, but what you want or what you trying to do for your daughter comes second, but my child support come first. What the fuck kind of sense that make? It's like, so I'm trying to see why we have so much respect, quote unquote, for stepfathers when what are they actually doing, and when they leave, do we have that same energy?
Because it validate the bullshit that their mother's doing.
Who is we? When you say we,
us, all of us.
Who is we? Because everybody's an individual.
Defending the shit.
Everybody.
Like,
we're all individuals. Let's be real.
That's that. Who is we?
Well, the dude, what's the nigga name? Taz. He was definitely going hard for it. The other guy that had the little ass hat at the bottom corner.
So let me say this. See, this is the thing, right? What you all, I don't know if everybody's able to do this. Just the same way I'm doing it with you right now. You can tell when people are personally invested in their talking points, right? That's why when I asked the question earlier, I had not said to John, remove religion, because I know he's a very religious person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just gonna dive to your religion to qualify something, is a waste of me asking you. I need to know what you really think outside of your bias, right? So right now you have a bias because there's a situation that you're in where there's a quote unquote stepdad in the picture who you know ain't really doing shit per se, and if they leave, it ain't gonna matter at all. They're not gonna stick around or have nothing to do or be no more involved than they already are now.
I get you.
As the situation was, I had a situation where I had a stepdad involved in my kid's life, and he was an A-OK guy. And even
I'm literally talking about the position. You feel me? I'm literally talking about the position. I'm not even talking about myself personally.
Okay, so did you hear what I just said? When I asked you who is we, the person you named was Taz. So
I named more than one person, but go ahead.
Okay, you said Taz and you said the other dude with the hat or some shit.
Yeah.
Okay, Taz, who I'm addressing right now, was in a situation where there was a person who was being a stepfather to his child, and it worked out very well for him to the point where he even had a relationship with the stepfather, and they're still cool to this day, according to him. So, do you see why he would have that talking point? It's personal. It's a bias. This is why, and people could kiss my ass if they don't like it, I really give myself a lot of credit in these conversations because I'm being objective. It's not personal.
Right.
I'm just giving you what I really think about whatever we're talking about.
So in general,
to y'all smart individuals on the panel.
In general,
can I ask y'all a question? Oh, go ahead, CT.
Let him reply. In general, in our community.
So to your question, CJ, that's why I said who is we? Because the whole point that we was making earlier before you came up was that in this space, particularly on YouTube, stepfathers get bashed.
Well, I'm talking about in real life. I don't really consider this space real life because I mean, obviously everybody's a YouTuber, but they say niggas ain't YouTubers and we shouldn't be YouTubers, but we're all YouTubers. So whatever. Like I don't even do.
So let me ask you that in real life.
Even in real life, same thing.
I miss you. Let me say this first. I miss you, bro. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to get to rock with you. You're another person who I love communicating with. CJ, I'm gonna give you the real life scenario. Here's why. Most niggas is stepdaddy.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
That's the reason. So if most niggas is doing it, they can't go around bashing them. I ain't gonna go around
They act like niggas ain't daddying. That's my point. They act like niggas ain't daddying. I'm daddying around this bitch.
So I just want
that
to ask a
average
question.
number thing with stepdads isn't true, but I'll talk about it later.
I want to ask a question. I want to ask all y'all smart individuals a question.
I'm dumb.
Y'all listen. I know you are. I know who you are, Scam.
What I'm saying.
But so my question is this.
We always jump away from things before we finish.
Come on, Scam. Come on, baby. Keep it serious. Hold it together.
So my question is, because I want for y'all to be on YouTube for a while and you listen to these men talk about being stepfathers. I wonder if there's a correlation. Men who only have kids by one woman and they're raising those kids. Is there a correlation? Is there a correlation that differs than the men who are actually stepfathers or men who have kids they're not actually currently raising, or they're raising, or two men are raising that one child?
A correlation to what?
Huh? You understand the question?
A correlation to what? Is there a correlation between?
Can you repeat that? Yeah, can you repeat that? Clarify that.
Okay, for example, fathers who have kids by one woman and they're raising those kids.
Mm.
And then men who come on these panels who actually have kids and somebody else is raising their kids with them, like a stepfather and a father working together, I guess, in a scenario. Do those type of men, do they view that situation differently? By these conversations on the panels.
Yeah, so you asking for a difference, but you said correlation.
Well, Lamar, show me it's you, big brother.
I used the word. I should use the word correlation. Get rid of the word correlation.
But of course they do. That was the point I was just making about Taz.
Yeah, we did that.
I'll answer later.
We've already explained, John. That's just been expressed with Taz and CJ, literally.
Yeah,
I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question though. Is this okay? I know Taz did that. That's what made me think about the question. Is this common among the men in these panels? I mean, in panels and society, because I never paid attention before. Is this common?
The point is that there's going to be bias.
I'll answer next.
No. To his question, that doesn't answer his question. Hold on. That doesn't answer his question. That doesn't answer his question. He said, "Is it common?" The answer is yes.
Yes, but that's okay. But that's
not the bias.
Is it okay? I see what you're saying, world class. How it doesn't. But if you have Taz's situation, you're going to speak highly of it, right? The people who come on these panels and talk the most about their marriages, right? It's the people who's married, right? The security boss. Everything is marriage. Everything is Jesus. Now, you know what would give that more validity? If she wasn't a Christian. But because she's a Christian, it's like, well, of course you're going to support it because it's what you represent. Give me something objective. Take your bias out of it. Just like when people try to validate the Bible with the Bible, right? Like, take your bias out of it and your true opinion.
Good point, podcast.
If you're looking at
Scam, but hold on. But Scam, this is the thing. I want you to make sure that you understand it before we get too far away.
I understand what you're saying.
If the average black man in America is 30 years old, and I think 30 or 28, it might be 30 or 28, and the average black woman is in that same age range, and the average black woman has a child,
don't feed her that hint.
He's stepdaddying. I'm not saying
no.
Married to
That's
him.
the point I was going to argue against.
I know. Listen, so just make sure you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying we married to him. I'm saying we dealing with women with chicks. I've been with my girl for 13 years. She got
that's fair.
Got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. I played stepdaddy for a few years. And then after a while, I realized, you know what? I'm terrible at this. It's not my responsibility.
Let me say this, you podcast.
I got you.
Let me say this before.
Yeah, go ahead, then. Let me respond to John the Baptist's question.
So
go ahead.
You're talking about biases, right? I'm looking at it just even from a societal standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Like Russell Wilson, one of the main reasons he gets praise is because he stepped in and was a husband and a stepfather to Sierra. Now I'm saying where Huh?
From he. Thank you for bringing it up. He gets praises from who?
Black women.
Okay, so that's my point. Men look at him and say, "Out of your fucking mind."
But you got
Why you
Not,
dealing with this trash ass bitch? They literally
not
said
all.
Sierra is cursing him.
petty.
They call when Sierra's with Future, they called it the Sierra curse.
More guys shit on more guys shit on Russell Wilson than they
That's
they
a
praise.
fact. That's what
He was talking about women, Hank. He was talking about women.
Yeah,
okay,
hey John.
so yeah, if you that's why I asked you when you said we, why do we? That's why I said who is we. If you say the women, then there goes your answer. That's in their nature. I literally had a guy on Angry Man's panel last night. Shout out to this guy. He called himself anti-simp. Something he read from some time ago. He said it's literally the actual nature of women, right, is to procreate with that upper class, but to be with the lower class men, because the lower class men are going to give them the life that they want, the attention that they want, the relationship that
What
they
the
want.
hell?
But they want to procreate with the higher class men. They want to procreate
God.
with the best looking men, with the men with the most status, right? Because that's
That
how
makes
they want to move their genetics along in their children. But
That makes sense.
they want to procreate, and then you see the examples.
No, it's junk.
Procreate with Future.
That makes sense. It's a best of both worlds. Makes sense.
It's
See what I'm saying?
it's
Go
No,
ahead,
actually
Scam.
it's nothing
What
from
you saying,
either
Scam?
world. No, hey
How
John.
come so many ugly men have kids?
Because
they gotta be able
The point is that it's all junk. That's the point.
They be
come
very
on, Sam. That's
alpha
dismissive. That
outside
doesn't
of
help
their
the
looks, right? It's that dude. That's a
I'll
great
address it.
question, Sherelle. We was just talking about that guy Jay Fizzle the other day. When I look at that guy, he does not look like what I remember women finding appealing.
But he got
right?
a mouthpiece.
But for whatever
is Jay
reason,
Fizzle?
he still got
He from
14
Memphis.
baby mamas.
He the dude with 15 baby mamas. He got a
Right,
mouthpiece.
15 baby mamas.
That trick
Pull
got a
out
mouthpiece.
game weak. He ain't that nigga. He just don't know how to pull out. That's all.
And he got a mouthpiece. like the nigga got a mouthpiece. He from South
That too. They don't talk about that. Yeah, hey, John, I can answer your question and sum up a lot of stuff. Here's the deal. When they always say the men in these spaces, what they're saying.
Here's the deal. I'd be like, fuck.
You're talking about 90% of men who don't stand on the very words that they're even saying. And their followers following talking points that the content creators don't even stand on. It's all bullshit. 90-something%. The women is the same thing. I want a 6-figure, 6-pack, 6666. Cool. Let me see your cell phone.
Don't forget
Raw Dog Ronnie, Slim Meat Tony, Loser Jenkins. Actions speak louder than words. Does very men talking trash about Russell Wilson want to be Russell Wilson? The ones talking about Derek Jackson, they want to be Derek Jackson. They ain't got no game. They're mad because he's banging out the chicks that they want. They get on the panels and yell at the women because they're getting smashed by someone else and they want to be that dude. Most people are followers. They'll follow anything that sounds good. Content creators know it. That's why they do this. The women will follow anything except for some of these dusty ass
What are you
dudes.
talking about?
That's life,
is
though,
it
right?
so is it
What do
common
you
or not?
expect?
So is it common or not common?
No, John, what I'm saying is, what do you expect to come out of these people's mouths with stepdaddies and talking point? What do you expect?
It's life, though. That's real life, though.
I don't want to interrupt you, but that is hilarious because you said you was gonna respond to what John said.
Yeah, and I'm like, he didn't even touch what John said. He didn't say nothing.
I'm clearing up. They're talking about the men in these space said this. The men in space said this. The men are focused. No, they're not. They're lying. If Sierra was in front of them, they'd fall down and kiss her feet. They know damn well. But they talking trash about Sierra and Russell.
Podcast. We like ass. Not everybody like
Facts, bro. Sierra ain't got no body, and I think her feet ugly. So
These dudes are getting ragdolled by Wigosauruses.
That's not fair. She's a dance.
Talking about
So
Russell
you can't
Wilson.
judge
People
dances.
like raw beef. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, let me talk about stepdad right quick.
Play the video.
80% of their baby mamas do not look better than Sierra. They not as accomplished. They don't have money like Sierra. Like
Play this video, guys. We're gonna play
they
this
were
video.
born.
Okay, we're not. We're gonna
Hey,
leave
I
it on
ain't
John.
I'm knocking the stepdaddies. Fuck y'all.
No. I want to speak about
Shout out
stepdad.
to the stepdaddies.
Hold on, hold on. He trying to play a video for y'all. Listen.
Okay.
Who breathing?
So, speaking on what y'all speaking on, right? So I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? I do agree, however, you should not normalize having a broken home. But if it's what's actually best, I'm always for what's best. Now, for me, right? All right, so my mom ended up dating another man for about, 10 years, basically all of my childhood. That man taught me how to be a real man. If I would follow in my father's footsteps, I'd probably be a simp. And I feel personally standing here, like he's more, my non-biological father is more my father than my real father is. I've learned things from him that I know for a fact I could never learn from my biological father. And I appreciate him more than my actual biological father. I still talk to him to this day. He has kids, with a previous relationship before my mom, and those are my brothers and that's my sister. I call them every day. We talk to each other every day. It's almost as if the blood couldn't make us any closer. So it was just best for the situation, and that's what I'm for. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it is, better. Like if it depends on everything has so many different variables that come into play. But I'm just speaking on the overall picture on what's best.
To provide the kid the best opportunity.
Or not even
What's
just
healthy?
a kid, forget the kid.
What's healthy
to
for
provide the
everybody?
house, because you got to understand that a kid is in the home. And it's not just having two parents, because you have two parents who are drinking, fighting, or not even drinking and fighting, but
Or
fighting
fighting in
and
front of each
fighting,
other,
and
hitting each other.
They're not happy with each other. It's hard to live happily in a place where there's no happiness. It doesn't matter if there's biological parents or it doesn't matter if it's non-biological parents. If there's not happiness in that household, the kid can't be growing up happily. It's just impossible. You're seeing things that are traumatic constantly, or you're just having a bad energy, bad aura in your house where you're spending majority of your time growing up. You're growing up with negativity in your home. It's not good in any situation. But
you make a I want to say you make a beautiful point.
So he's coming from a different aspect to talk about how he was as his stepfather in his life and how much he taught him and how much he brought to his life. Now look, we know even in real life. I know CJ said you don't look at YouTube as real life. Yeah, real life, you motherfuckers was shitting on the stepdaddies. Y'all was shitting on them. Well, we know most of them. Look, I was a terrible stepson. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasn't shit. I was mean as hell to my stepmother, and half the shit she didn't deserve, but I gave it to her because you couldn't tell me shit because you wasn't my mama. So I'm just saying.
I actually embraced my stepdaddy because it was like when he came into my life, my mama wasn't as much of a you know.
Don't say I do.
So it was like he actually made my life a lot easier. So like even though I have, what I'm saying about stepfathers, it's not that I don't respect what they do. I just think it's overhyped when we talking about like guys coming into the position because they really want to take care of the next kid. No, he just wants the woman, and I'll take care of the kid too. Fuck it.
Trying to take care of that ass.
Yeah, but we all know it's a part of the deal.
Right,
it's
but
what man just runs around looking for kids?
If I'm going to
that's what I'm saying, Sherelle. They're not going
like
around.
no man is looking like.
Hold on, guys. If I'm going to get into a relationship with a woman with a kid, I got to accept a kid too. I can't just say one or the other.
Right. But I'm saying,
can I say this real quick? Hold on.
CJ, can I ask and world class, I think you know this, but you can answer too. Ever since I was 16 years old, every woman I was in a relationship with, except for my kids' mothers, had a kid or two already. Every one of them.
So you was already coming in pretty much as a stepfather.
Since I was
15 years old.
I got two problems with that clip.
So wait, but the point is, does that mean I was looking for that?
Say it again.
Does that mean I was looking for it?
That's my problem with
or was I somehow subconsciously choosing that?
That's the same thing I was saying to Desto. Like these women have changed. The field is different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you even gave the numbers earlier. Most of these chicks have babies well before they get married. So it's out here. It's like we look at the results and go, oh, you wanted it, oh, you chose it. There's nothing the fuck to choose. It's Pepsi or Coca-Cola.
World
What else
class, you
am I
know I'm
gonna
still
choose?
out. You know I'm still in the market too, right? And I'm older than a couple of y'all.
Yeah, I get that. So
I mean,
like, but my thing like with the
I'm
video,
not.
right?
Oh, go ahead.
My thing with the video though, right, is like the one thing I pulled away from what he was saying, even though there was some jokes in the chat, is I think he targeted the thing that makes these conversations okay, because anytime you try to institute a perspective to a person, you know they got a right to choose to not do it. His angle was the environment. He talked about the household, but we say environment. If you focus more on what environment you're producing, if we have a better understanding of how environment produces people, I think we can have much more solution oriented conversations, because the environment that I come from, right? I have to be like I am. Like, so if when I got out of that environment, even though the guy that got me out of that environment come from the same neighborhood, it changed how I thought. Now I'm not in prison. Now I'm not dead. So when you look at the situation, that's why I had a problem with what Taz was doing earlier. You keep saying that this nigga is taking care of the child just because he's there. Just generally saying
Exactly.
that he's taking care of the child just because he's there, as if attendance gets you grades. You can go to fucking class and don't do no classwork and fail. Okay, that doesn't change anything. Like what's happening in the households, and in these situations with a mom, a biological mom, and the stepdad or boyfriend, that's the most violent and homicidal situation for children in every race across the country.
Okay, world class, you just did the same thing. Like he made an assumption that the dad is there, therefore he's providing. Just like you say,
No,
made an
and
assumption.
that is,
If
but
it's
that
a
was my
single
point.
mom, she's probably abusive.
But that's my point. My point is, if you make that assumption, then somebody has the right to make that assumption right back to nullify
That's
it.
fair.
So that was it.
Yeah, and when you get into it, it needs to be more individualized. Like when I talk about solutions and stuff, and I throw my own self under the bus. Somebody asks, "Why are you not married?" Ha ha. Okay, you got me. I'm not. But I can at least say, hey, I dated women who aren't this junk that people keep talking about on the panels. Beating, throwing, like every
Let me speak
video
to
is a
myself.
woman throwing a kid out the window, stabbing a man or beating him with a brick. Every video they show about a black woman. And the truth is, that's not who all of them are. Most of them work, go home.
Let me speak to this stepdad deal right quick, okay?
Go ahead.
The women, most of the women are who they say.
No, I'm saying the video clips. Oh, look at our black women. It's always one throwing a baby out the
This
window or
entertainment.
beating a man with a brick. It's always the worst case scenario, and everyone will believe it. But if you say, hey, I found a woman who's not cheating, they can't believe anything that's positive.
You could do one that's more common. Like,
Let me speak on the stepdad right quick, okay? Cause y'all going like,
Go ahead, Lamar.
you know. Okay, I had a great stepdad. Me and my brothers and I, we took her when he got old and all that shit. But he still told us not to be stepdads. He said it because he trying to give us advice. It wasn't that it's a bad thing, but if you want to meet somebody young, you got to give them the best advice that you'll have. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. That's all I want to say. He was a good dad.
Yeah, like
because I think you always want to give somebody the ideal.
Yeah, the best advice they can.
Yeah,
like
that's
my
what
mama said, don't marry out your race.
Yeah.
She gave me the best advice she had.
So y'all brought up, earlier that, like in this space, right, that really stepdaddies definitely get shitted on in this space. That's true. Like that's just that's absolutely true. That's not something I've ever supported. And from what I can tell with this panel, we don't support that, right? I just think that I think the reason that you even have guys going so hard at stepdads is because that when men actually tried to have this conversation, it wasn't allowed to be had. So now you got this space is just basically what this space is like the barbershop times 1,000. Right? That's really what it is. Like, that's pretty much what it is. It's like guys finally get to talk and they just won't shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's basically what's going on. But for the most part, I would say, man, we got respect for stepfathers, bro. Like I have respect for what the guy in my daughter's life, right? I actually have respect for what he's doing. But all that I was trying to make clear with my whole point was like he didn't come in this situation looking to take care of a daughter. He saw my baby mama ass just like I did. And I'm not gonna lie.
And CJ,
Beans laughing at that. Beans are right. A hot baby mama, she gonna get got.
That's why I always took it to the point.
I was watching in that
CJ.
clip.
Hold on, I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna let you go, Jim. My bad. That's why I always bring it to the point that the manosphere's position is that these chicks they feel entitled because they see it so much. They feel entitled, like nigga, you gotta take care of my chick. You see the stupid little clips. She bring her children with the to the date and whatever they got ordered. They had them little conversations and them little stupid little dates and clips and shit like that. It's the audacity of I have to take care of your children. And niggas like, no, I'm not. After seeing the Kevin Samuel shit, like their mindset is completely different. We've had a opportunity to take inventory and go, you know what, nigga, I don't have to tolerate this. Because if they're saying, nigga, I want this $300 for the first date, I want a nigga that's 6 feet. If you can make those decisions and you can have that as your standard, then shit, I can have some standards too. I don't want no single mother. I don't want this, that, and the third. But then we get into the part where we go down the desk panel road where we tick for tatting with chicks, which is where I have a problem. Let's just deal with the facts. Let's move forward and then stand on principle. Because I don't think as men, tick for tatting with a chick is going to help you be better as a human being. Don't be less like, I just had this clip, I'm going to put it in the video. I always say, man, when they sell us out, we upsell. When they trade on us, we trade up. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm going to let you stay at your little piss poor level, and I'm going to move forward. And I think that's what we get caught up in this, in these conversations, because this space's point, again, I reiterate, is valid. It's because they feel entitled to it, and they're not only do they feel entitled to it, they're disrespectful. You're a weak nigga if you don't want to take care of another nigga. Like, bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, it gets disrespectful. So I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that part, but to the part where you're so mad with her that you disrespecting other men, I can't get that part.
Exactly. Hold on. Wait. Whoa.
What type of woman do you expect to come into these spaces?
You didn't just say that.
Just being honest.
I know world class didn't say that.
So now I got to be the one to sound like a simp, right? Okay, cool, no problem.
Hold on. What you mean, CJ? What you said?
Nigga, you go hard on niggas all the time.
That be the nigga that be disrespecting men. Name him.
And I actually want to get in there. That's why I want to talk about
I'm done.
Because in that clip,
I'll call you world class.
I had a problem with that clip because as that young man was speaking, he was speaking for how he saw the world from his eyes. Mm-hmm. And so he glorified his stepfather, but then talked negative about his father. But the problem I have with the way he's speaking from a child's perspective who can only see what he sees, but he doesn't know what's happening outside of his perspective. And I think that's what's dangerous about, now that was just a small clip. So I don't know what he said in the rest of the video, if he addressed it from an adult perspective later on. But as that perspective he showed in that clip, he spoke from a child's perspective, which was not a holistic view. I'm pretty sure he said he saw his dad as a simp and saw that man as a strong man. But then what do he recognize about his father besides what he saw? Did he ever talk to his father? Did he ever talk to the man that was his stepfather to get the complete story, or is he still telling it from a child's perspective? That's the only issue that's the issue I have with that small clip. He's looking at it from a child's perspective.
Listen,
but John, hold on. Let me ask you: how can you say that? I mean, the man's looking from his experience. Now,
because
but what he's saying, maybe his dad wasn't shit. It's possible his daddy wasn't shit.
But did he ask his dad why his dad wasn't shit? Because that's what I'm saying. Because he don't know what is I'm reason why I'm speaking. I'm projecting myself into the story, right? Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I was raised by my stepdad.
Oh Lord.
And I was also and I actually like my stepdad better than I like my dad. Mm-hmm. And so when I got older, I actually talked to my dad one day, and I got the perspective from him. And the things I held against my dad was actually the things that my mother would not allow me to see that was actually in my dad. So I grew up hating my dad for no reason.
That happens a lot.
That does happen a lot. But it still can't, it doesn't mean that all men are innocent. Let's just be real.
I'm not saying all men are innocent. What I'm saying is he's speaking from a child's perspective. And until you talk to the men in your life as an adult, And when you become a man and you have these life experiences, you will never connect to your dad or to your stepdad. You're gonna always see it as a child perspective until you talk to them as grown men with life experience.
Well,
You
Yeah, I
don't know.
got
You
you.
don't.
I always,
I'm
I
just
always
saying we
think
don't
that.
have that story, so we don't know unless he
Y'all
tells
lucky
us.
Correct.
that.
Correct.
Listen, because he
Y'all lucky.
specifically
My dad
stated
got deleted when I was
it
a
ain't
kid,
got.
so
He
I
said it's not
I
even
couldn't
all
talk to him.
about the kid. So he specifically said he was speaking about the household. But real quick, world class. To your point, y'all gonna have to get over this. Some women are so bad
Stressful.
that they deserve you to take care of them and their kids.
That's
And
crazy.
I know y'all don't
You gotta
like to
relax.
hear that.
True.
I know y'all don't want to hear that.
That's
You
true.
gotta relax.
But it's some of
Nigga said
them.
that's true.
It is
It is
because
true.
it is, nigga. Like it is
I'm
what
not
it
saying
That's
is.
it's not.
false. That's false. That's false.
Straight up and down. Let's just be
That's
honest, bro.
false.
Like
Just because I won't
That's
do it,
false.
world class.
if
Just
you
because we
assert,
won't
That's what
do
I'm
it,
saying.
if
That's a
you,
somebody
fact.
will.
That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying it's not wrong. You're right. I'm not
it's a
doing it, but
fact,
you're
bro.
right.
It just is what it is. And then it also is going to matter about your level too, right? Because let's say you you know what? I ain't want to do this. Let me use somebody in this space that everybody know.
You love
Use
doing
somebody
that.
on the panel,
somebody
please.
got
Man,
somebody got to get
this
thrown
a
under
light
the
skin
bus
channel. You
real
can't be
quick,
messy over
right?
here.
I'm Dusty. Use me. I'm Dusty.
Right? Let's say you a crackhead Sir Hell, right?
That's
You gotta
scam.
stop.
Yep.
You have to
You're a
stop.
crackhead version
You
of
have
Sir
to
Hell.
stop. You gotta stop. You being
Okay.
ridiculous.
Damn it,
No,
man.
I'm not saying the actual Sir Hell. I'm saying you're a crackhead version of Sir Hell.
Okay, this is ridiculous.
You don't got no money, right?
What we
The
doing
next
here,
day
man?
you hit the lottery.
This
But
beef ain't.
these women don't know you got the bag. You really don't have all the options yet because nobody knows that you got the bag yet. You know what I'm saying? So your option is going to be based on the fact that you have money. You can move egotistically if you choose to, right? That's what's up. But more than likely, you're gonna get burnt. More than likely, you're gonna marry somebody because they're gonna pretend like they all about you, and then they're gonna wait a year or two just to make sure they got enough time in, and they're gonna take you for half. Or you can get with this chick who's an obvious 8, but she bringing in, 2 kids. One of them cuss a lot. The other one stay in his room, play the video game all the time because he don't know his real daddy is.
I think that's
So
Sherelle and me.
like,
Badass kids.
right?
Yeah,
I'm
I got
just
slight pushback.
Look, it is
Slight
what it
pushback.
is. We gotta stop pretend. Look, I don't agree with niggas trying to pretend like it ain't no high value women, right? Like not in the sense of high value. Okay, I got you. But I'm saying like high value, like yeah, I would do that for her. Nah, I wouldn't do that for her. That
That's fair.
exists. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's reality. No, podcast. A dude making all this money overnight, and this is another thing I can't stand about some of these spaces. They equate all this fictional money that most people are not making to
Right.
relationship skills.
Facts.
There's super chat. There's dudes with healthy super chats, mad as hell at women. All this money, got the bag. Then they're telling me, don't even worry about men while you're 17, 18. Focus on the money for 10 years. So you're telling the youngsters, don't learn relationship skills, learn about women, expectations, attraction. No. Go way out there and go get money. And let's be real. He's going to want some vagina sometime in them 10 years. If you told him to chase the money and stay away from marriage and all that, who is he going to stick his meat in? Out of control women. Because you told him to stay away from the wives. They tell the women the same thing. Don't get married till you're older.
And that's
They're going to get
facts.
bent over, stroke, and stuck,
That's so
bent
facts.
over,
And then
tossed around.
you spent 10 years with them. When you get a regular woman, like she gonna be boring to you.
You ain't going to know what to do.
Chlamydia.
You got no relationship skills. Don't know
There's
how to
no
talk
way
to a
you
woman.
had sex with strippers for 10
And
years
money.
and then you want to get with a virgin woman.
But
They'll have no.
but can you see the dynamic? We telling
Is it
like
good
our
advice
solution.
though?
Our solution is telling dudes to
No.
get married early, right? We're telling the dudes to get married early. But the chicks is being told to wait until you're 40 after you had your career. So, like you just said, they're going to be fucking strippers.
They're telling them both to wait till
That's
later.
my thing, though. See,
They're
that's my
not.
thing, though. World
We
class.
telling them to get married early.
But
Well, we're
wait,
the
that's
smart
my
ones.
thing,
Most
though.
of them are saying get your money and wait till you're 86 and go chase women. and try to buy them.
Hold on, Scan. See, that's my thing.
Then get a prenup.
It's not that that's bad advice. It's just that it don't apply to everybody.
No, it's bad.
It's bad advice.
The women have to be smart enough to know.
It's terrible advice. It's terrible advice.
Okay, you can correct me.
Hey, fellas, I'm about to wrap this thing up, but I'm gonna definitely make sure Eat a Man in. He came in late, but at least give that man an opportunity to speak his piece.
Thank you for inviting me, Trent.
He can say what he gonna say after I make my
Thank you for inviting me.
He ain't got nothing to say.
I don't want to forget it. Listen, this is what I'm saying, world class. Do all people need to go to college? Is college for everybody?
Absolutely. Let them fuck with you.
No, y'all niggas can't
Okay.
pass college.
Neither is marriage, neither is being a parent, neither is being a leader, neither is being a husband, none of that, bro. Everything ain't for everybody. For some women, it's best if they just live their best whore life until they get into their 40s and they can get that guy that's 50-some years old.
No.
There is a demographic of women that actually makes a lot of sense for. That is a fact. Shout out to the
He's
women.
right. He's right, Dusto. He's right, though.
I disagree.
Nurses who stripped
I'll
away
share
to
the mic.
nursing school.
That's like saying eat all the donuts you want, cake, pigger pies, but then wait to go try out for the NFL when you're 38.
Dude, stop talking about Eat a Man.
That's not the same thing.
It's not the NFL. They'll be.
I was running in the streets preparing you for being a wife.
No. They won't go to the NFL. They'll go to
Hank, can y'all
NFL
hear
Europe
me?
or arena football. It's not
No,
the same
they'll go to the hospital. That's where they're going.
I just
or
want
that
to
too.
I just want to speak on this.
Guys, hold on, E-Man. Hey, guys, let E-Man, because I'm about to, like I said, I'm about to shut this party down. And I greatly appreciate every last one of you Negroes. Great ass views and opinions. But go ahead, E-Man.
Since I'm the king of the stepdads, I thought it's only fair if I come give my input on the stepdaddy conversation. And
to the king of stepdaddies.
What it really comes down to is that eventually, I get it if you're struggling and you live in paycheck to paycheck and you like, man, I ain't got enough money to take care of myself. How am I gonna take care of these other kids? I get it. But eventually, some people, we make enough money. We see something we want, we gonna go get it. We ain't gonna be in no situation that we like. Oh, because I think most of the dudes are capping. Beyonce went on the market right now. Guess what? Niggas will be lined up talking about, I want to be a stepdaddy to Lil Ivory. You know, so like this idea that these men,
You didn't listen to the
Yeah, we
conversation.
said that already.
No one shared that. You not even listened to the conversation. No one made that
They're
argument.
stepdaddy and from wicked sources.
So no, I believe that podcasts, like it's rare that I agree with podcasts. And I believe podcast is right. It's some women that's just bad enough that a man is willing to take the baggage too. Like this idea that if he wants something and he got the money, he's not going to be sitting there saying, you know what, I'm worried about these single niggas on YouTube, what they going to say about me. No, he going to go out and get what he want in the real world if that's what he want. I get y'all I get the picture y'all saying is that he should have found one that was single. What if he didn't want that? What if that one woman fits into his life? What if she's submissive? What if she's all the things that y'all asked for and she's that woman, she just got kids? Most men say, you know what, I'm willing to do with those kids, especially if those kids respectful, especially if those kids bring value to them. My stepkids bring value to me. I ain't washed the dish, I ain't cleaned the house. You know what, if any one of the ladies in my house, I have 4 daughters, my 2 oldest daughters, they'll go in there and cook me a 5-course meal if I wanted to. Like the value that my kids bring me, you think I'm worried about paying a light bill that I would have paid anyway? Come on.
Okay,
Get
so
real.
but to your point, I don't have any stepkids. I don't wash dishes. I don't wash clothes. I don't clean my house.
But you got married. You got married in 1920. I got married 4 years ago. Like we're 2 different people who got married at 2 different times. No, serious. Because when I respect you, John. But when you say, "Hey, I got married 20 years ago," we know the women 20 years ago was different than the women that was 5 years ago. That's why even when guys talk about the women today,
I give you that. I give you that. I would give you that. I would give you that.
So what?
It is a difference.
I was in a situation but I needed in a woman, and my wife had it, and I sat down and said, "Hey, cool." Like I said, "Cool. My wife, she's making about $85,000 a year. I said, and she have no debt. The thing that she brings to the table is she got kids. And I said, let's put this down on paper to see if it makes sense. And when it really came down to, when we just went school shopping for my kids, I just spent $150 on them. They're inexpensive, they're not spoiled, and they don't ask for a lot of stuff. Her brother owns a shoe store, so I haven't never bought them shoes. He buys them shoes every year for school. It was a great deal for me. And for us to sit on here and say, oh, it might be a bad deal, this, that, and the third, you have no idea, especially if somebody's families intact, what we see in the Asian community. So I just want to put my little 2 cents in there. And I don't agree with podcasts. I think podcast was 100% right. It's some women that bring more to the table, have more assets to the tables. They have more things to offer. And you know, you can't look over their, you can look over them having kids.
Hey, E-Man, one question.
A lot of.
Go ahead, world class. Go ahead.
Fellas. I'm gonna give everybody a last chance to say something before I shut it down. So I'm gonna go ahead, world class. Then I'm gonna go back to John the Baptist, then podcast.
No, I'm just saying to this point, a lot of sports cars are amazing until they crash. That's all.
Go ahead, John the Baptist.
You keep on going. You go keep on going, Hank. I'm good.
Go ahead, podcast.
First of all, Hink, dope show, dope panel. Salute to everybody who came through. Salute to everybody in the chat except for Travel One. I do want to say that if you're in between the height of 4'11" and 5'2", ladies, and you thick, you already won. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Do what you're gonna do. Somebody's gonna put a ring on it. Somebody's gonna wife you. Somebody's gonna take. If you have some kids along the way, it's okay. You don't gotta tell no man what they gotta do. Somebody gonna do it anyway because you're fabulous and you're thick and you're voluptuous and you're wonderful. And especially if you got nice toes and real hair. And podcast loves Black women and Puerto Rican women.
You gotta stop doing this.
Ethnic women for life.
That's crazy. Hey, Hank, congratulations on 900 subscribers too, bro.
Almost forgot. Section 8 for life.
Great show, Hank. Great show, Hank. You did a great show, Hank.
And Hank, listen, Hank, you know they favorite content creators behind closed doors and stepdaddies. I ain't gonna call out no names, but I've been pulling some reports, and guess what? Some of these favorite content creators, you know, the ones that tell y'all not to be stepdaddies, I have found out that they stepdaddies, just to let y'all know. But it was different because that was
Don't surprise
1990.
me. I told you they all be lying. They don't surprise me.
Go ahead, Scam. Go ahead.
That was 19.
I think John the Baptist after podcast.
He said he's not going. Go ahead, Scam.
Oh, to make it simple, aside from all the trolling and the animated me being me, y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I do. But real talk, actions speak louder than words. You're hearing all this stuff and all this points and all the men's, the women's, and it's junk. Here's the deal. Communication is damaged. People don't know how to talk and they don't know how to listen. It needs to be fixed. Most people have low self-esteem and need to work on their confidence. There's certain things that are obvious. Fitness, attitude, the other stuff I just said. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about 6 different things. Work on them things, you're going to get a better result. These are facts. Before you even step out the damn house. And that got to do with women, kids, yourself, everything. Or you can just say no and listen to the talking point mafia. They're not going to help you with leadership. They're going to make you the worst version of the very follower that you already are. I don't even know what they're talking about anymore. I don't even know what a simp is anymore, to be honest. From 2021 to 2023, I see people getting worse. Men and the women. That's a hint. That's all I got. Dust and crust.
You know what a simp? You want to know what a simp is?
I don't even know no more. If you like a woman, you're simp.
Look at that bottom box on the right.
Is it my turn?
Ain't that you?
Being heterosexual is simping now.
Go ahead, Doug. We ain't gonna pay no attention to John.
Shout out to Hink. Your boy Justin Fields needs to get it together because he's killing my fantasy team. So that's there. But as far as the topic goes, when it comes to stepfathers and even the topic on we talked about marriage a little bit, people need to be direct in what they want, what they don't want. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to the people in your relationships with, and just get what you want out of the situation. Stop lying to yourself. That's the main thing I can say, man. I don't know what to say. Is this a lot of this relationship stuff is not. It's hard work. It's not complicated, and I think we make it more complicated than what it needs to be. So just stop complicating the simple. That's all I got to say.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Miss Sherelle, what you got?
Okay, hey. Okay, so I didn't get to do my take, so I'm gonna do my take. When it comes to stepfathers, ideally I would just say people should be more preventative before they run into the issues. Just try to build your homes, but we know nothing is 100% foolproof. So stepfathers are going to be needed. Ideally, I think that in the cause of separation, men should just keep their kids, and the other man would have to play less of a role into your child's life, because being a stepfather and being a stepmother is totally different. Regardless of what house that child is in, is going to be living under the and if that child has a father, him living underneath the rules of another man, that may cause a conflict. Um, so we are gonna need stepfathers. I think that's commendable, raising somebody else's child, especially if you're a positive outlet into that kid's life. So if you're gonna be a positive male role model in a black kid's life or in any kid's life, you're commended for that. You shouldn't be shamed for that. Because I mean, if you look at the community, it's gonna be needed because we already have the issue. Um, I think advice to stepfathers is just like, what would make it simpler is don't deal with women who have disrespectful kids. If their kids are disrespectful and they make it hard to be a stepfather, it's the way that child was being raised, was being trained already by the mother. So you may be saying this woman has a big booty and she's beautiful, but if she has disrespectful children, it's something behind the doors that you're not seeing, and you're going to be in a rude awakening. Also, pay attention to the relationship that she has with the man, and who is the father of her child. Who did she choose to lay down and have a baby with? Is that man respectable? He's a piece of then, and she was laying with him and she was letting him have a baby with him. Then that's another judgment call. You need to pay attention to that woman. So if you know what I'm saying, if he was a good dude, you sit down with the father of that child and y'all work out something and just keep everything respectful, because stepfathers are needed. So, and I respect y'all. So
Well, thank you, man. We appreciate that. I appreciate you even coming through, breaking bread with me. I guess he man gone, but hey, look here. I just want to say this. Thank you, guys. Thank you, John the Baptist. Thank you, World Class. Thank you, Mr. Section 8, aka Podcast, Scam Lightly. Miss Sherelle, I appreciate you guys. So I'm gonna pull you down and great close this thing all the way out. Hey, y'all be easy. Y'all be
I just want to say I forgive you for being light skinned, and we should change.
Okay, I'll see you later. These guys, boy, these guys. You gotta love them. You gotta love them. Look, at the end of the day, man. It's the good thing about it is that you're able to agree to disagree. Whether you agree with me, you don't. It's cool. I'm okay with that. Again, I don't have no problem being a stepfather. I respect stepfathers because I know what a great stepfather my great grandfather was and what he's done for me. I know what other stepfathers that was throughout my family has done for my family, how they contribute, helped out in many of in type of ways. So I'm gonna give you a props. So again, for a man who steps up and decides to take on a child or another man, whatever reasons why they no longer together, that's irrelevant to me. But he decides he's going to do that and willing to take on not only the mother and her issues, but the mother and her kids. I gotta respect that. So guys, I appreciate y'all coming tonight. Every last person in the chat, thank you guys. Thank you for the questions, the contributions that y'all made throughout the night with the questions. Thank you for everybody that was on the panel. Thank you for those guys who had to dip out early. I appreciate that. Every last one of you guys. I don't want to name all of you because I don't want to feel like messing around and forget somebody. But I appreciate every last one of you. For every last one of y'all who's still in here watching, man, please hit the like button on your way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep putting out great content, continue working hard, and put out more and more stuff. Got some other stuff coming up here soon. Going to do a collab with Real Precious about relationships. So this should be a good topic on next Monday. And I will do it following my sports show on Monday. And just looking forward to continue to rock with you guys. Like I said, if y'all can, please comment after the video comes up. Please comment. And if, there's things that you see I could do and improve on to make my show better, please present it to me. Either in the comments or on the back comments after the show. You could hit me up on IG. Whatever's clever. It's all good. I appreciate you guys for just participating and being here with me. Thank you for rocking with me. I know I went kind of way longer than I normally would, but I felt like this was a subject and a topic that need to be talked about. We don't talk about this. We're not talking about this on the regular and these other spaces. We just not. So I seen the opportunity, and I just took advantage of it. Why not have this conversation? Every time I heard the thing about stepdads, we're praising them. We're not uplifting them. We're not talking in a positive manner. We're shitting on them. I'm just going to keep it real. Most of the times I hear we talk on these spaces, they're getting shitted on. Right? They're getting shitted on. Now, I'm not going to sit there and tell you every stepdaddy was great. No, they're not. You got some asshole dudes out here. We know they are. So it means some of these stepdaddies are assholes. But for the ones who are good, who are doing right, who's doing it more than just to get some ass from the baby mama. Hey, shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys for what you do. Poppy said, I see that stepdaddy in you. I know that's right. Yeah, well, Poppy ain't gonna lie. One of these days, here shortly, I will be a stepdaddy again. It is what it is, man. And I ain't got no problem with accepting, man. My lady's got some beautiful kids. They're well-mannered, well-behaved, well-respected. I can rock with that. That's one of the great perks about it. So, shout out to her. And shout out to every last one of you, like I said, for coming through. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for kicking it with me. Thanks for all the engagement. I appreciate it. I promise you I do. And again, for those who came up on the chat and chopped it up with me, had great questions, great insight, great perspective. Thank you guys and gals. I appreciate you. Y'all, hey, again, y'all good people. Have a good night. Thanks for rocking me in the basement. I'll see y'all next time.